Yes, everyone, and welcome back to the Irish Hotspur with your boys, Dave and Jack. And this evening, it is a fan call-in show. We have a lot of talking points to discuss. I'll trash them out there in just a minute. And literally pick your points, come on and have a conversation with us. For all you channel members, the link is up in the community section. If you do want to come on and have your say, be left up there for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So, make sure you get on it. Jack, how are you keeping, sir?
Keeping all right. Monday evening, thinking about sort of the rest of the league and just sort of their own troubles, and kind of just look at Spurs. And, we have just a lot of sort of, of our own kind of things to still deal with. But it's kind of funny just to talk about the meltdowns of other clubs, and just sort of see the chaos, ensue for other teams. Gary Neville had a howler this weekend, calling Spurs, a stable environment, to walk into. That was a real good one. And not really that surprised, given Gary usually likes to then round everything off with blaming the Glazers in some manner. I feel like if that guy left the house and he left the oven on, he blamed the Glazers in some fashion. But it's just been a good weekend all around, Dave, and plenty in the queue already, which is also nice to see. So I'm actually going to get to them straight away, because we also have Mia, who's just joined us, who always like to chat with her. And we're going to get the queue going. And you already have the questions cooked up. You've been cooking them for us today. And it's nice to see the meltdown of other clubs.
No, it's great. And look, the fact that we're still top of the league, look, that's another one. Top of the league after 10 games, unbeaten. I mean, how long can we keep the unbeaten record going? Let me know. But also, Mauricio Pochettino returns to Tottenham, of course, not yet, today's Monday, so next Monday night, as we take on Chelsea. What sort of reception do you think he will get? And what sort of reception do you think he should get? Another one, of course, Brennan Johnson came off the bench Friday night against Palace, made an impact. 2 minutes later, set up Sonny. That begs the question about Richarlison. Do you go against Chelsea, Richarlison or Brennan Johnson? And if you don't, if Brennan Johnson does get picked, does that signal an end to Richarlison's career at Tottenham? And the reason why I say that is because he's already lost the striker position, and if he loses the left wing position, I think he'll only fall further and further down the pecking order. Then that brings me on to the next point. A lot of the rumors out there are linking Tottenham to strikers this January, namely the Mexican hitman Jimenez. What's your thoughts on him? Do you want to see him in a Tottenham jersey? And also, do we have a squad to be able to compete with the likes of Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal? And if not, what do we need in order to create that squad to be able to compete with them? Van de Ven, of course, arrived for a huge fee of 45 million. A relative unknown to many Premier League fans when he arrived, but just how impressed have you been with him? And of course, Romero setting a new passing record at the club for the most passes in a game. A lot of talk around the guy over the summer. Is he good enough? Is he not? Well, come on and have your say, Is he on the path to stardom? Is he on the path to world class? And also a quarter of the season gone. Sort of Tottenham sit proudly top of the Premier League, 2 points clear of the chasing pack. At what point do you consider Tottenham title contenders? Plus whatever else we like to make up along the way. So there is a load of topics, a load of questions for you guys out there to come on and have your say. Let's welcome a few people in the chat. We have Mick Hermelot. Good evening, Jack and Dave. Got gout, been off work for the rest of this week. Not nice, my man. Not nice. Hopefully you do feel better and hopefully you recover. Mick, the Regulars is top of the league. Another London derby. Can we go 3 for 3? Come on, you Spurs. I mean, judging by the Chelsea I've seen the weekend, I think there's every opportunity. Brentford turned them over, which was nice to see. Good evening, Taku. Hopefully you're keeping well. Bear Talk, howdy, big up Bear Talk, big up Scotty Hynam, big up to all, come on you Spurs. We also have Joris Wooters, big up to all, come on you Spurs. Liam says, big up lads, big up Liam. Daniela Zito says, good evening, Jack and Dave, big up Daniela. And we also have Sarah says, big up Dave and Jack, big yourself up. Alpesh Patal says, good evening Dave and Jack. What's happened? Are we top of the league, making Premier League history? Look, it's our best start to a season ever since 60-61. Of course, we went on to win the league that year. I mean, look, it's a big ask. You have to be near perfect to win the Premier League. But look, this is what we're all here to discuss, my man. Alpesh, feel free. Grab one of them memberships. Come on and have your say, my man. Big up, Graham. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. Great to see you in the building. You must be happy with what we're seeing at the minute, my man. Jay Costas, Dave, and Jack, hardest working duo. Big up, Jack. How was your flu? Jack?
I've transitioned from fever mode to cold mode. So basically just stuffiness and just, like I said, going through tissues like, a man would go through packs of cigarettes, I guess. So it's just that sort of stage. Kind of, cooling it out at this stage, Jay. It's easing away.
Fair play to you, Jack. Oh, there you are, Jay. Big up, my man. Brad Matthews, good to see you in the building. Good evening. Same to you, Paddy Harnett. Evening, gents. Hope you were well. One question. Could we? You look at the club motto, to dare is to do. You look at what's going on right now. No one can deny it's pretty special. Why can't we? Jason Bell says, big up, lads. Can you believe we went up top by 5 points on Friday and we're likely to be in fourth when we kick off against Chelsea? Look, very well could be the case, but again, it'd be a good test of character knowing that we need results to get back there. Can we do it rather than this time round us playing first? So I think it's going to be a great test of character and resilience, Jason, my man. Big yourself up. Derek Hutchinson, great to see you, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well along with Wilson. Great to see you, Wilson. Keepers, Keegan's, where's the bloke? Good evening, gents and chat. Good evening, Mr. Keegan. Hopefully you are keeping well. Shawnee Maddox says, Dave, how many of those passes between the Rombom and Vic can we count? I'll take them all day long, my man. As long as they lead to a win, I'll take them all day long. Although it was very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating at times. I can't deny that. I was getting annoyed. Claude Murphy says, if Jimenez comes in, I would push Sonny out left, and Sonny is doing great as a striker right now. I'll be honest, I'd bring him in just as competition. We need more firepower. Sonny alone will not fire us to a Premier League title. We do need other options. Foggy Foam says, good evening, Jack, on Dave and the rest of the chat. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Foggy Foam. Spurs GCTV says, evening, guys. Come on, you Spurs. Good to see you in Spurs GCTV. Sweeney Todd, 70. Evening, Dave. Evening, Sweeney Todd. Hopefully you are keeping well, sir. And he also says, evening, Jack, as well. Great to see you in the building. But look, we won't waste any time. We will crack on with it, Jacko, and we'll start getting on the guests, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go to the man on the blue sofa, and we'll see what he has to say. And I'd like you kind of have some spicy questions, Dave. I don't know. Maybe I want to start straight away with Brad, maybe on the Pochettino kind of situation here. I just got to know straight away, is he going to be, making booing sounds? Is he going to be practicing it, already? So let's see what he has, because he's got a nice voice, Brad.
If you go into the pre-match build-up, Jacko, they're all down the very, very bottom of that. Sorry, I should have actually said it to you beforehand, my man. I do apologize. But let's get on, Brad. Brad, how are you keeping this evening, sir?
Good, thank you very much. Very, very good. It's good to be a Tottenham supporter at the moment. We can all agree on that. And it's I just woke up Saturday. The first thing as I woke up was, I've got to go to work, and then hang on, no, it's Saturday. And then I thought, and Spurs won, and we're 5 points straight at the top. What a great way to wake up! And it's something during the week when we're on top, I'm thinking, can I really hope that we're going to beat Palace and to do this? All these years that we've threatened to do things and we haven't. Can I really believe? And yeah, we won, and it was great. I mean, okay, the last couple of minutes were a little bit dodgy after they got that dodgy goal, but all in all, I think we professionally won the game.
It felt like Palace didn't have much of a game plan afterwards, though, Brad, once we kind of scored, right? They almost became worse, or, they didn't really even attempt at any stage to try even score. The IU moment was sort of out of luck, it felt like, for them. And that was maybe, I guess, good for us in the fact that they had one game plan, and that was probably just to see out 0-0 to the second half to a very late stage and see if they could get a lucky goal at some stage of the match. But by eventually breaking it, we just won the game afterwards.
I mean, it wasn't our most convincing performance. We didn't create many chances. I don't think their keeper actually had a shot to save. So which is quite weird. And then when you look at the stats after the game, and I'm a little bit suspicious of stats, but after the game, we had 70% possession, but only one shot on target, and they actually had more shots than us, which is quite interesting. But some of the football, the second goal, I mean, that was breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. Now, when you look back on it, it was, I think, eight passes from the keeper to Sonny putting in the net. just absolutely breathtaking. And that's the thing about this Tottenham team is, and I said it on Friday night when I was watching the game at the pub, and I said it after the Fulham game, we can only get better. There's so much potential in this team. We're playing with Richarlison not really firing, Kulusevski's not really firing. It's a team that I don't like the word potential because it sort of doesn't mean anything really, but it's frightening. We've got a lot of players, and now players coming back. Bentancur was back. Brian Hill came on for a short while. I actually quite liked Brendan Johnson. I thought he looked pretty lively, and was behind the second goal. So yeah. But this team, they're a young team. The team spirit is absolutely amazing. Those scenes with Bentancur at the end, that's absolutely brilliant.
How great was it to see him return, Brad?
Oh, it's wonderful, and it's funny that he sort of came on for the last couple of minutes, and then they had like 9 minutes injury time. So, but yeah, I mean, I hope I think they've got to just basically be a little bit steady with him, not bring him back straight away, and bring him on for sub appearances, that sort of thing, because we all know that knee injuries is pretty bad, and it takes you time to come back. But yeah, you're looking at having him in the squad for the last part of the season. That can only be a good thing. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about Tottenham. It's a great feeling to have. When you're as old in the tooth as I am, and you've been through all the bad times and that sort of thing, and when only a couple of seasons under Pochettino was the only time I've actually enjoyed being a Tottenham fan, and now here we are. So yeah, it's good.
Brad, another quick question. They sort of had, a celebratory dinner in some fashion. It looked like a lot of the team, if you were able to catch that on sort of the social medias and whatnot. And they were sort of, bumping the music as they like to do, in the dressing room, sort of having a good time. Could they be getting a little too overconfident, or could they be having too good of a time right now, maybe, and sort of being undefeated? Is there something to that, maybe, that they're getting a little too overconfident?
You can look at it in two ways. You can look at it in what you're saying there, or the question, is that overconfidence? Or you can say, no, they're just enjoying being a Tottenham player at the moment, and enjoying winning, and enjoying each other's company and that sort of thing. Because don't forget, it's not only 90 minutes that they have to sort of be with each other. They got to be with each other throughout the whole week. And any of the people, you guys and anyone watching that have worked in a company where you're really good friends with the people you work with, and you do a better job. So yeah, I think that was just him enjoying the moment. And I say celebrate everything. It's let's enjoy this moment. And even then, himself said, I think it's a question about making the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium a fortress. And he said it's not so much a fortress as a nightclub sort of thing. And it's great. No, I think it's the team spirit there is. We still have to see what happens when we lose. We still have to see what happens then, how we react to that. But I'm pretty confident that we're going to react in a really, really good way. And then you've got to have the attitude. You have a big run of games, unbeaten, or so many wins. You lose, and then you think, right, that's the end of that run. Now we start the next run. And that's how they look at it. And I think this team will. I mean, Pochettino himself said, didn't he, after the game? He said that they controlled it really, really well. They kept at it, sort of thing. They didn't panic. And I love what he said in, I think, one of the press conferences. He said, I think someone made the comment, you don't say a lot from the sidelines. And he said, well, we spend the whole week, we give them the tools to react to things in the match. And he said, it's like you're learning for your exam, the college or wherever you go, you'll be given all the tools to pass the exam, but you won't know what the questions are going to be. So I think that sort of summed up really, really well, that they can react to whatever happens in a game on the pitch when it matters.
That's a good point, and plus he doesn't have idiots in the team, that are making mistakes every week. So he doesn't need to be shouting and roaring, when the players are doing what you ask them to do, he doesn't need to be shouting and roaring. But look, it's hard for me not to look at the last two games and maybe think, is there an element that maybe they are getting carried away? I mean, second half against Fulham, some of the flicks and tricks rather than just sticking to the task and getting the job done, that second half performance tailed off. And I'll be honest, I think it did carry over into the first half against Crystal Palace. Look, as bad as Davies was, and as bad as, as out of sync it through the team. You know, the rest of the guys were carrying on with tricks and flicks. You know, I remember being really mad at Porro at halftime. It's like, just get the ball under control and play it. You know, stop with this flicking around the corner. And I do understand that there are elements to Postecoglou's game where he does want this sort of one-touch football and stuff like that. But, you know, in teams like Palace and Fulham, you know, sometimes you just got to, you know, get your foothold in the game first before you start trying some of the fancy stuff. And I you know, I am maybe concerned, you know, that maybe there is an element that maybe they are getting overconfident, especially what Ange Postecoglou said after the Fulham game, calling out the forward line heading into the Palace game. But look, it remains to be seen. It remains to be seen. But Brad, one more thing from the Palace game, just quickly, my man. I mean, Brendan Johnson came off the bench, had an impact straight away. Let's be fair about it. What do you do versus Chelsea? Do you go with Richie, or do you bring Brendan Johnson straight back in?
I'd bring Brendan. I'd play Johnson without a doubt. As long as he's fit. I mean, only, you know, the sports science guys or whatever at the club will know whether he's fit enough to play 90 minutes. So if they're confident that he's fit enough to play 90 minutes and he's confident he can play 90 minutes, then yeah, I'd bring him straight in. But it's up to they're to be the ones that know whether he is or he isn't. Because I think he came on, you know, when he came on Friday night, which still seems weird saying when he came on Friday night. He looked lively and you know, was there for that second goal. That was you know, all his do, or you know, a lot of his doing in that second goal. And Richarlison probably does need a break. You know, he probably does. And the other thing about it is, I think you've got to start when you've got players like Richarlison not performing how he should. Then you've got to bring these other players in so that they get game time. And then you have a situation where everyone's getting the same amount of game time, and then you know, don't want a situation when you keep persistent. Oh no, he's not good. Bring Johnson on. He's had no games, so if you bring him on now and let him get some game time, you know, bring Richie off the bench. He might come off the bench to score. Who knows? You know. So I think I would if the sports science guys and you know they're all confident he can play for 90 minutes. Yeah, I would bring him. Against Chelsea. And I don't think Chelsea will be expecting that. I think they'd be probably more, you know, lining up to face Richarlison. So, yeah, I'd definitely play him. Oh, going back to your point about the overconfidence, yeah, I do agree with the little flicks and the, you know, they call it lairising, I think's the word, where you're sort of taking the piss in that. If it works, great. If it's, you know, but sometimes you can get a little bit carried away. And I do think we tend to try and walk the ball into the net at times. I'd like to see us try and have more shots at goal, and the stats prove that. Really, you know, the one shot or two shots on goal or one shot on goal on target. You know, so I'd like to see him take a little bit of chance in having a few more shots and that. But hey, this is still work in progress. You know, we you know, when you think where we are, where you think where I predicted where we'd be, and then where we actually are, it's a good place to be.
That's my fallback if we don't win the title. You know, it's still a work in progress to all the rival fans out there. Brad, let's ask you, my man. Pochettino, of course, returns Monday coming. What sort of reception do you think he deserves? What reception will he get?
I personally, and I think I made this in the comments last week, personally, I won't boo him. I won't applaud him. I'm going to be very indifferent. You know, my heart says I'm really disappointed in him. My head says, well, he's a football manager at the end of the day and he needs to get employment. That said, he always made the point that he'd never worked for Arsenal. So, you know, when he's saying that Chelsea are bigger rivals when he was at Tottenham than Arsenal, then he's gone there. So, yeah, I don't think he'll get a good reception from the crowd. You know, I think the crowd will. It'd be interesting to see what the club do. Will the club say, "Welcome back to Tottenham Hotspur, Mauricio Pochettino"? That'd be interesting, because I think if they say that, yeah, they're putting a foot in it really, because I think that will probably definitely get a reaction. But I'm trying to think if any other ex-managers come to Tottenham.
We definitely had a few down the years. But you know what, Brad? Look, I get your response, right? So it's you know, I to be honest with you, I expected that from you. You know, you're not going to applaud him, you're not going to boo him. Look, I'll be honest. I don't know what you think on this, Jack, but I think, okay, look, you know, maybe it's not nice to boo people and stuff like that, right? But you know, he did become a traitor. He did go and take over Chelsea. But what I will say is, what we should do is learn from. Remember that Champions League? Or remember that game we played Arsenal at home on the Champions League run, where Gary Neville famously said the fans absolutely brutalized Mikel Arteta and that young team he has. But when I look at Chelsea, very similar, very young squad. You know, they could easily be intimidated on that Monday night atmosphere. And I'd like the fans, if they could, to create sort of a similar atmosphere, you know, get the flares out, intimidate the bus coming down up towards the stadium, get in the stadium early. So when they get out of the bus, they have to walk through the stadium around the edge, get in there already, start booing them, you know, get on top of them. I don't know what you think, Jack, but I think if you can get a carbon copy, I think we intimidate them and we beat them, to be honest. I think this is where the fans have their chance to come and play their part.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I think we should, from the off, be, you know, like we were in that Arsenal game, you know, definitely, without a doubt. With Pochettino, it's more of a personal thing. But yeah, boo Chelsea. I mean, when Chelsea run out, I'm booing them. You know, it's like, you know, don't get me wrong. You know, I want Chelsea to lose every single game. You know, I don't care what Pochettino did for us. I want Chelsea to lose. You know, I can't stand Chelsea. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping. The funny thing is that Jesus Perez got a red card, didn't he? So he won't be on the bench. And I was half expecting, I wonder if Pochettino, I think, actually, I might get a red card too, then I won't have to be on the bench.
Gets to be up in the press box.
That would have been irony if that had happened. But I'm really, very rarely do I say I'm really confident, but I am actually really confident in going into this game, which sort of worries me in a way. But yeah, after watching Chelsea on Saturday morning and how, knowing that we can play a lot better and knowing that this is a big game, we're going to be really up for this game. And the crowd are going to be really up for it. So I'm really confident. And yeah, no, I agree with you, Dave. Let's do what we did against Arsenal without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I just think on these runs there are times where maybe fans can play a part, and I think this is definitely one of them occasions. You know, I think, you know, you create a really intimidating atmosphere, it can very easily turn that young Chelsea team. You know, and not a lot of them are Chelsea true and true, where they would react and try and stand up to it, right, Jack?
Yeah, I think they easily can get rattled by an atmosphere, or even when they start to make mistakes, that Chelsea team start to kind of get really kind of unraveled and, you know, really rattled by it. And you could see how, if the crowd is really up for it, just one, you know, stray pass that goes out of bounds and you just get the whole stadium echoes with way, and like all of a sudden then you could see them like really start to get in their own heads. And also too, even seeing their own manager kind of just get pelters, you know, despite Brad's, you know, brilliant kind of, you know, kind of maybe more appropriate behavior, you could say. You know, there won't be as many people joining Brad, I imagine, kind of in that department. So, you know, I could see a lot of people getting pelters to Pochettino, and seeing your own manager that happen. I mean, how does that really, can it inspire you? Maybe a little bit, but it's sort of a weird, even kind of a feeling, I would imagine. Look, I wonder even what speech Pochettino even gives these sort of players, knowing that they're all going to get pelters before the game. And it's not like the Arsenal speech that he must have given them. It would be very different, right, from that game. So that's what I'm also
I just hope if they do introduce him, you know, welcome back, I just hope the crowd starts singing Postecoglou, you know. Postecoglou, just to get.
Not even Brad. Pochettino is dead. I'm loving Big Andrew's dead.
I mean, that to me would be more beneficial than booing him, because it's just saying, hey, look, we don't care who you are, what your history is. This is now. This is our manager now, and this is who we're supporting today. Our manager, our team. We don't care about you. You know, so that's how I look. Don't look. I'm really very disappointed that he went to Chelsea. Really, really. You know, I even messaged him on Instagram saying, please don't go. But, you know, but it's happened now. Chelsea aren't really looking that good. And the other thing you're saying about attacking them from the start, remember the Arsenal game, you know, a guy got sent off because they were basically trying to kick Sonny out of the game and got sent off. So I think that, you know, we saw it with Fulham and Palace. I think Palace more putting a couple of players onto Maddison, you know, and that'll be, you know, Chelsea will be after Maddison, I reckon, you know, trying to intimidate him. And we just got, what Jack was saying about the crowd, you know, we just got to go at it and just go at them and you know, make the team intimidate them into playing, making bad moves and that. But it's going to be a cracking atmosphere. I've actually I've got 2 days off work. I've got the Monday off and I've got the Tuesday off. So
probably wise, Brad, especially if we win, right? You'd want to hang around, you know, be in the pubs with all the atmosphere, hang around the concourse.
Early Monday afternoon, I'm going to be in the area, I think.
For sure. Get down there with some flares, Brad. You still got time to order the blue and white flares in, my man. Look, Brad, where can people find you, my man?
Right, Blue Sofa Songs is my YouTube channel. It's I try to write songs basically, so I play all the instruments. Although the drums are drum loops, but I play all the instruments, write all the lyrics, write all the music, sing, do everything basically. And there's a new song out on at the moment, a latest song, and it's just basically straight rock and roll. It's called "Grown Old Disgracefully." There's no politics, no woe is me, no angst. It's just basic rock and roll in your face. So hopefully you'll like it, give it views, share it, like it, all that other wonderful stuff. And thanks, guys, for always giving me the opportunity to plug it. And links in the description. And keep subscribing to these guys. And as I say every week, anyone else that's on here that have got their own shows, and that's how we grow. I've got an interest. You're saying about Jimenez, whatever his name is?
Mm-hmm.
Santiago Jimenez.
Yeah. Whether we should sign him or whether we should sign a striker full stop. I think we have to think. It's easy to get into the trap of saying, right, January comes, we need to reinforce so we can have a title run. Yeah, totally right. But we also got to think it's not just for that last part of the season, it's for the future as well. So if someone like Jimenez or someone decent striker is available and they're willing to come to Tottenham and knowing it's going to be, a rotation type situation, yeah, go for it, because hopefully next season we'll be hopefully playing.
David would agree with you there.
Yeah, and we'll need a big squad. So don't just sort of think we're getting a player in just so we can have a tilt at the title, which obviously that's important, but we have to think about the future as well. And so I'm hoping. I mean, it's been quiet on the Levy out front, and understandably, because we're doing really, really well. But tell you what, he needs to make sure he gets financial backing.
Yeah,
and we're
transfer
not talking,
window time. Yeah.
We're not talking millions. We're not talking silly money. We're talking just what Postecoglou wants. He's got to give him the money, give him backing for it. And I don't think Postecoglou is going to be wanting, $1 trillion players. I think he'll just find the players that he wants to fit his system.
Yep.
And I think we certainly need. I don't know how good Phillips is as a centre back, or Dorrington, but I think we do need cover for Van der Velde. There's two players in our team that I think if we were to lose for any length of time, we'd really, really miss them. And Van der Velde is one of them. You saw him on. When that ball went through early doors, when that ball went through, I wasn't even worried. I thought, he'll catch him up, and he did.
Yeah,
so it was. Yeah, we need to make sure that we have some decent sort of replacement if he, woe forbid, gets injured. But
someone needs to put him in the Flash costume. Then it needs to be pictures of him going around in the Flash costume, Brad. But look, Brad, big up, my man. Really appreciate your time. Enjoy your 2 days off work this week, and we'll speak to you again very soon.
Or next week.
Cheers, guys. Come on, you Spurs. In Ange we trust. We never stop. Celebrate everything. There we go.
I love that. Nice send off. Good send off, Brad. Nice one.
See you, Brad, my man. Come on, you Spurs.
I like that send off.
Absolutely great chat with Brad. Please do get over and check out his channel, Blue Sofa Songs. All his own work, absolutely brilliant. Big up Phil Coys. He says Poch never got offered the job at Spurs, so why are we going to boo him? Look, I get it, but he ain't Spurs manager. We're at the top of the league. Forget what he's done for us in the past. Well, you can't forget. I mean, I appreciate it. However, different era now. We're trying to maintain being top of the league, and if it takes for us to boo him and boo that young Chelsea team, a bit like what we've done to Arsenal underneath Conte, went for the Champions League when we were on the Champions League run, I don't see the problem with it. I'll be honest. What's sentimentality going to do for us? We've seen over the last few years, sentimentality towards individuals doesn't get us anywhere. In fact, it just sends us backwards. So, look, I get what people are saying. We're talking about elite level sport here, and there's no room for it.
I just personally think that football fans are very tribal, and once somebody kind of cuts against you, it's very often that you can pretty much kind of write them off and use that against them, and it's always sort of been that way, no matter what sort of minor kind of major thing a manager or a player has ever done against you. The moment that you sort of come up against them, and they're sort of, coming, facing you, and, it's, mano a mano, you kind of almost use anything against them that, you can usually to sort of get some sort of edge, or even in some way to get some sort of psychological edge. And I think a lot of people sort of will just in a way probably just even be booing Poch, not even because they even hate Poch or anything. They probably just want to do it just so that they can make a difficult atmosphere, atmosphere, for him and for some of the players and everything. I bet a lot of people who might even be doing it will probably not even have much sort of venom behind it. Whereas others, could be because they might think that in a way, yeah, he did sort of go against his own word. And like I said, a lot of people are very tribal. And when a manager or a player goes against his own word, we can be quite maybe in some people's eyes unfair about it, but it's just kind of how it is, I think. I think
look,
it's just
no
what it
room
is.
for
It's just
sentimentality.
sport.
Thanks for everything you've done, but we want to win. We want to go somewhere. Pat Whelan, big up. Pat, long time no see, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. He says, talking about challenging is ridiculous. We're one key injury away from falling apart. This season should be about bedding the new system in. People getting carried away are setting themselves up. Look, I do hear what you're saying. That look, obviously the expectation going into this season, wasn't to win a title, but you have to adjust accordingly to what you're seeing. Look, I take the injury argument. However, I would counter it a little. We got by without Basuma when he was suspended. We've got by without Bentancur. We've got by without Gill. We've got by without Perisic. We've got by without Solomon. We've got by without Adoji. So we already have had injuries that we have got by on, is what I would say on that. But I hear you. There's obviously certain players, I reckon, you take Son out, who's going to score our goals. You take Madison out. Are you going to create as much? I understand that, but we have had I don't think it's fair because we have had a lot of injuries that we have got by without. Jack, anything you want to say, or we keep moving on?
No, I feel like you just have to keep talking about challenging, at least in some regard, whether you take it even seriously in the first place. And it's just going to have to come up because you're at the top of the league after, where are we? Like close to a quarter of the way or a little bit over a quarter of the way through the season. Like, it's going to come up no matter whether you kind of take it seriously or not. And I've, for the most part, have just sort of kind of done that, where I've sort of taken it not that seriously, but it's still, it needs, and we've sort of talked about if it were to continue to happen, what do we need? What should we do? How can we do it? Those sort of conversations still need to be had.
For sure. Steve D says, hi lads, so question, Dave, if we draw Bayern in Champions League, you're fully on board with Boo and Kane? Yeah, look, 100% I am. Do you know what's funny about this though, Steve? There's more people around the community that wanted to sell Kane this summer that are actually watching more of Harry Kane than what I have. I've only watched them for England. I haven't watched them for Bayern Munich. So, I would start questioning other people. Why are they watching more of Harry Kane when they wanted to sell him? I'll be asking different questions, to be honest with you, Steve D, my man. But look, same rule applies, Same rule applies, I won't change that. If Kane comes to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, he deserves to be booed. Just so I can win a game of football. I'll do anything to win. That's what I'm trying to get at, Steve D, my man. No loyalty in this game,
He'll sabotage the barber.
Take his barber away. He won't play as well anyway. Ellie, big up, Ellie. Great to see you in the building. She's showing in comments. She is absolutely pumped. She does want a striker, but she says, here's some lolly because you make us jolly with your positive vibes. Lads, big up the Irish Hotspur, the place to come to get your Spurs fix.
Appreciate you.
Look, we should be positive right now. No one expected this. Even if there was some deluded fucker at the start of the season that predicted a title chase, they wouldn't expect that we'd be 10 games in unbeaten. No one could have called it.
Yeah, we sort of had a question on that, in the pre-match build-up, like sort of there's been that lack of appreciation that Spurs weren't even going to ever be considered at all by anyone really being serious, for being any sort of title contender, but then not even ever even considered as a dark horse either. Like you did hear those sort of conversations always, like who could maybe be the surprise factor, who maybe is secretly a much better team than maybe we realize, sort of thing. That was also never really said about Spurs at all. Like they have absolutely destroyed and defied expectations, like in every manner. And Ellie, you just have to celebrate it right now. And I honestly, the only thing that really is anyway, like I laughed about it with Dave. The only thing that's even in any way sort of not as, happy and jovial or jolly that we have to talk about is sort of our man, Big Richie. But everybody else, it's just jolly and it's just fun. And we just get to talk about how ridiculously good everybody's been. It's really been a nice season, really, on sort of our hearts, on our minds, and really just on everyone, really.
And I do think we find too many reasons to find why we can never succeed rather than looking at reasons why we could succeed. I do believe that. And look, Of course, it's going to be a tough one to maintain, but Leicester were able to do it. Despite squad depth. Phil Coy's putting a great point there last week that camaraderie, teamwork, togetherness, fighting for each other can push you a long way. Then you look at it: do we have the quality throughout the squad in the big games, in the big moments? So far, they've answered them questions. So, look, all is positive. When we lose, we'll speak about and we'll have a conversation about. But right now, what I'd say is just enjoy the vibes, and until we are beaten, then you have to consider us title challengers or title contenders, in my opinion, Ellie. But big up, Ellie. Great to see you at home. Let me know what striker you do want in this summer, though. And really do appreciate the support. Everyone, it's Halloween. Be like Ellie. Help support your two tricksters, for the Halloween period. Also, my birthday is next week as well. So make sure you wish me happy birthday all week long.
What's the candy of choice?
To make me feel good. Huh?
What's the candy of choice?
Ooh. You know what, Jack? That thing's over here called Cola Fizzy Lollies. And they're absolutely unreal. They're really, really nice. You used to destroy about 10 of them in a day as a kid, Jack, during school. Absolutely unbelievable. Not good for the teeth. But, I'll be partial to one of them or a bit of chocolate. I do love my chocolate.
I like just a good Sour Patch Kid, for me, or, a Kit Kat that I can just sort of put in the fridge, leave it there for at least, 6 or 7 hours, gets nice and cold, and then just kind of munch on that. But for me, Sour Patch or just the Kit Kat. And then from there, it's really just ice cream. Appreciate you, Ellie. And let's just keep riding the good vibes indeed. And let's see what Shawnee has to say. Maybe he's got some good vibes to give to us. Big up to
Let's
Sean.
get on, Shawnee. Just want to say quickly, big up to Adrian Brown, channel member, says our position and the Ange effect. I've got feeling that we should be attractive for any player to join us. It also gives them time to settle in for next season's Champions League. I mean, look, we'll start here with this one, Shawnee, and then we'll crack on, my man. Adrian, he does say, we should be an attractive proposition for any player this January. And to be honest with you, I agree with him. I think when players are looking at what's going on, the style of football, why wouldn't they want to come to Tottenham Hotspur right now?
Yeah, no, Dave, I think that's a good point to think about when we're recruiting. Again, when a club is doing well and moving in the right direction, you can sell people on a project. So even if we're not in the Champions League currently this season, but I mean, again, if there are players that are ambitious, they see this club is on the up and up, that there's no reason we can't attract top talent. Again, I think it's just about maybe being a little bit more holistic in how we're going about it. I think Ange has done a really good job of bringing in the right people with the right frame of mind, personality, that he's really able to kind of get this group to gel together. And I think that'll be the most important thing going forward in terms of bringing people in, is bringing guys that are going to work hard, that are going to fight for the badge. Because again, I think that's where we've gone wrong before, is you bring in a Tanguy and Novella who's got plenty of talent, but no drive. Yeah. He's not going to leave it all on the pitch. Those guys that, again, just care about the paycheck and not the club. So, I think that'll be the important thing going forward, is identifying between kind of the many options in any position is who the right fit is. But
just on that, Shawnee, I mean, part of me is not concerned, but part of me doesn't know whether I should worry or not. And the reason why I'm not concerned is because, a lot of people say, we have to look beyond, a title challenge in terms of recruitment, which I agree with. But when you look back at our recruitment under Paratici, it has been long-term vision recruitment, with the ages of the players that we've brought in and stuff like that. So it's always been sort of a long-term plan in recruitment. However, Gabonini's gone, Paratici, I think, is still working as an advisor. We've brought in Lange. I think we're looking at also bringing in a scout from Aston Villa called Rob McKenzie to sort of work with Scott Munn and Lange or Lange, whatever Jack said the pronunciation was last week. I mean, what do you think there will be a change in tact of recruitment then if there is new people in charge? Or do you think we sort of continue on the same what we were doing basically with Paratici as an advisor?
I think the new guys will kind of be on board. Again, as long as you kind of have Ange and Paratici having some say in there, I think they understand kind of their vision and what they want. And again, I think that the rest of the club, you've seen kind of a bit of a transformation behind the scenes. Again, they're freezing out Eric Dyer and the guys that don't have the right attitude. They're not letting him get near the team. And I think that shows a shift in mentality of this is the priority of choosing guys that want to be here, that want to work hard. And I don't think that like any new one coming in is going to be like, yeah, let's throw that away, because I think it's such an important cultural thing. And I mean, if you listen to Ange for like 5 minutes, how are you going to disagree with the guy? He's too likable and persuasive.
I hope that continues, my man. I really do. Jacko, you anything you want to push Shawnee on?
Sorry, it's kind of just, very siren, full today, in Brooklyn today. Maybe it's just, the frustration with everything. So Dave, could you give him one more question for me and then I can go after?
Yeah, look, I will. I mean, look, Sean, a quarter of the season's already gone, and Tottenham sort of still sit proudly at the top of the Premier League, 2 points clear of the chasing pack. At what point do we get considered title contenders if this continues?
I mean, I think the traditional answer is if you can hang around into January, kind of through that December period. Historically, that's kind of where you started to see the drop off. I mean, Spurs in the last 10 years, we've been at the top of the table at one point in the beginning for like 4 seasons around like October. And it's all about, okay, can we push past the early phase and kind of maintain some consistency or some quality of performances? And again, I'm seeing that a different mentality when these, because again, we're also getting a lot of these points fighting through adversity of situations. Either that we're fighting for that last minute comeback. Again, it feels more like when we were kind of flying under Poch, when you're watching a game late and you're like, oh, we're going to score here, rather than, oh, is it just going to not be our day? Where it feels a little more inevitable that the team is going to create something. But I think that I'll give it another month or so, and if we can kind of really be still kind of challenging, and again, we don't have to be top of the table, but again, I want to see us putting good performances in and winning most of our games.
Yeah.
I saw on Twitter just recently that some people are saying that maybe we're on a trend of slightly bad performances, and that going into this Chelsea game, like, there is, if you wanted to be nervous and if I wanted to terrify you in any way, before it, Sean, and not get you uber confident, would be that Spurs have been playing below kind of their standards of where they were in the beginning of the season.
I mean, I think that we've had a few games where we haven't been as sharp. Again, I think at the same time, I think like last week we're coming off a little bit of an international break. Everyone's kind of getting recentered. We have 1 or 2 injuries. Again, missing. We saw how important Udogie was in terms of just the stability of that back line. And it almost felt like our midfield didn't trust Davies and was sitting deeper than they would. So we were not as progressed up the pitch. And part of me thinks that might have been them noting, okay, Davies is on the field. We can't push up as high because we don't trust him to protect that flank. And so, because again, we saw Emerson go on the field. I'm sure Ange gave him a nice motivational scream at halftime, kicked a few guys. What was the bench guys? But was like,
how many water bottles were?
There's some water bottles across the room. But again, what we noticed was we came out at halftime, the average position was significantly higher. Because again, when we sat deep, we couldn't press their back line, which is how we've been creating a lot of the chances, frazzling other teams, letting us get the ball higher and have more time to kind of really and push back a little bit quicker. So again, I think that as long as we can kind of focus on keeping that identity, because it felt like we lost that, especially the first half of that last game. But again, I also don't think Ange is going to let that happen twice. in a row. I think they'll be doing some extra sprints, and he'll find some way to help him remember to sit at halfway instead of a little bit deeper. And again, that's kind of where I felt like I was disappointed. Was it didn't feel like Basuma was playing very well for especially that first half. He wasn't coming back and picking the ball up, because normally, again, I feel like we see Basuma, he comes back, he picks the ball up, he takes responsibility, and he drives the team forward. And we weren't seeing that progression. Part of me thinks that maybe he was afraid of picking up a yellow and not being available for that Chelsea game, and that was playing with them. I feel like we've seen times where Romero's been on the yellow or something, and that's impacted how effective he can be. For whatever reason, when Romero's afraid, it was like, oh, I can't foul, and he's maybe overthinking it. So I think now that we're going into the Chelsea game, I don't care if he picks up a yellow and misses the game after that. At this point, we need him here for the big game. So I think a lot of it's going to be getting that midfield kind of back up, playing Ange ball, because for a lot of that game, we just were not doing our work in midfield.
I agree with you. I thought the midfield was frustrating at times. I thought even on the ball, I thought sometimes maybe a bit too slow. But look, I do understand what people are saying. Maybe we haven't been in the best run of form, but, October is where, we've had a lot of problems in years gone by. Nuno got sacked that month. Conte, everything fell off under Conte in and around that sort of month as well. Pochettino, it was October or November, when he got sacked and stuff like that. So, what I will say is it is the sign of a good team if you can still win, even not playing at your best. And that's what we seem to do at the minute. So, I'll flip it to a positive. I'll always do that. But, Shawnee, let's go with Al Ben's Super Chat. Let's go on a ride with me. He says the fixtures was designed for Arsenal to win the league. They don't have any difficult phase of 3 to 4 matches, while City have phases of 5 tough games. And I'd also go one further, Alban. Look at our running towards the end of the campaign. Look at our running at the start. 4 away games out of the first 6. Some big clubs thrown in there. I think they were designed to, cause us a lot of problems. And maybe another manager turnover, which hasn't happened. But, would you go with that, Shawnee Maddox?
What I will say is, at the end of the season, I don't want to fight any team in a relegation scrap.
Yeah.
Again, when you have a team like Wigan fighting for their lives, they're prime Liverpool at a certain point. So you almost sometimes, that desperation can make those games harder at the end of the season. Where, again, if one of those teams has kind of fallen off, like I feel like the last few seasons, the teams chasing the top 4, like those around 4, 5, 6, 7. There have been stretches where everyone was just losing games and games and nobody wanted to win a game. I might want to play some of those guys at the end of the season. And again, I think part of it is, sometimes when you have a stretch of those difficult games in a row, it keeps you from getting complacent.
True.
Which could be. Focused, right? And I think the Spurs teams we've seen in the past, we've almost been more at issue with low blocks and our team getting complacent.
Yeah.
Eric Dyer walking up thinking, okay, I'm here, so we win, right? As soon as they step on the pitch, rather than kind of putting the work in and earning that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that again, it's not an easy schedule. And again, there's probably some level of some bias favoring some of the bigger teams. But again, if we want to be a title contender, we have to beat anyone and everyone when it calls for it. So whether we play them at the end of the season or next week, if we got to beat all of them a decent amount if we really want to be winning it. So I don't think it matters as much. And without European football, we're not playing midweek and as worried about rotating the squad. Not to mention with the AFCON, honestly, avoiding the hardest games during that period when Basuma and Sarr might be out of the club might actually be better for our schedule than spreading it out. I'd much rather play City at the end of the season when Sarr and Basuma will be there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
36th game of the season, the Premier League might finally discuss us in the title race on the 36th game of the season with us and City. But do you know what? Maybe that idiot, what's his name, mallet head, clown, David Dean, is that the guy that was in there when he postponed the Arsenal game to the end of the season 2 seasons ago? Wouldn't let Spurs have a fixture change to remain in the Conference League and stuff like that. So maybe that mallet head had something to do with it, Jack.
Yeah. I'm not surprised, Dave, because you've had some pretty terrific theories that you would go down the theory route. There's some sort of play here that maybe they're more of
it's
Arsenal.
Reasonable to say, hey, this isn't the most optimal run of fixtures, but I think that there's some level of kind of bias versus complete conspiracy but at the same time, I think there's some positives in the way the schedule will work out. Kind of like when they postponed that Arsenal game, we battered them and Arsenal fell apart and we stole 4th place. There's always a chance that it'll work out even better in the long run.
Yeah. For me, I would piggyback off Sean's sort of smart answer, Al. I would sort of say that if you were to look at it in a positive light for kind of the difficult fixtures, and that sometimes you can ride that and sort of, feel invincible sort of afterwards, right? You can feel like, wow, we've just, because you beat one good team and you feel really confident about yourself, and you beat the next good team afterwards and you're feeling, great about yourselves. And all of a sudden you're kind of just going into every game, it's like almost like a turbo sort of speed or something, where you're just all of a sudden, like jumping very high in the race, and you're feeling like you can just, knock out anybody. And that's also kind of a good feeling. Of course, it can be slippery slope and go the other direction, where you see 3 or 4 teams that you really don't want to be coming up against, when something bad happens in any regard, or maybe your form does slip against, and you're like, geez, that's not really a good run of fixtures for us. But it goes both ways, and you can really ride it like a wave if you have everything going for you, for sure.
I mean, it can. And the only other thing I'll say is we've had times where we've been going very far south, and then City comes up and we just turn them over and turn things around a little bit. So momentum, it shifts. So I'm not too worried about whoever we have to play. And again, I think just the fact that it'll avoid kind of where I honestly think the weakest part of our squad will be is when Sarr and Basuma are out in midfield.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because again, I think a real test have as much cover at the same quality level with kind of Bentancur and Højbjerg, which again, actually, if they're playing their best, I think we have something almost not quite comparable to Basuma on his best day, but still comparable in midfield. But then we don't have anyone off the bench.
Well, look, hopefully sort of Bentancur coming back from injury, or that might be able to, he might be able to replicate something similar. Shawnee, great discussion, my man. Really enjoyed having you on this evening, and we'll speak to you again very, very soon, sir.
Nice one, sir.
Yeah, always fun to be on.
It's always great to have you, my man. Great conversations, as always. Well, Shawnee, we'll speak again soon, my man. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, take care.
See you, my man. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Great conversation with Shawnee. Love the fact that he was talking about how high our positions were in the second half compared to the first half against Fulham. That absolutely great discussion, and really appreciate the support. Al Ben, top man, really do appreciate it. Ellie also says, trick or treat. My treat is to lure Chelsea into false hope. Let them score first, and my treat is to Spurs fans. We go and bang 4 goals past them. 3-1 to Super Spurs. Lads, Sonny, 2 matters, and Højbjerg. Ellie, the match saying, adding up, you said 4 goals. Now you're saying 3-1 to Spurs. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it, though. Look, Matters and Son, if they can turn up that game, we have a huge chance. Bobby BG says, I really like Poch, but tactically he's very poor for this reason. I take Tottenham to win. Andrew's far more astute with tactics. Fair point, Bobby. Fair point, my man. Southview Coys, big up, Marlon. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. Good to see Future Music in with us. How are you keeping, my man? AK Shag says, all the pundits comparing us to Leicester City. The disrespect. Look, if you're not one of the media darlings of an Arsenal, a United or a Liverpool, that's what we get compared to. They look down on us. I don't understand why we're surprised. And big up Phil P as well. Woo! Great to see you in, my man. And then Ribsy says, wait till you hear the Asian Cup is around the same time as
Let's
AFCON.
double down. Yeah, it's
It
double
is.
down.
It is. The two of them are simultaneous. Yeah. But look, that could be why Spurs are going for a striker in January, right? Knowing that Son could be missing for a few games. That could very well be why Spurs are dipping. It could be dipping in the market in January for a striker. But Jack, Al Ben says, does Ange Ball have another level? Teams are now taking us serious. They play against us are tougher, proving the last two games, not allowing us to play fluently as usual.
It would be a surprise that we've somehow reached this like peak efficiency of Ange's system already. That would be a little shocking because we've only really had so many games, only so many different types of opponents, right? It feels like you have to come up against a lot of different types of opponents at a certain sort of repetition as well. And then you really start to kind of work into the fine tunings of kind of the system. I feel like we haven't even really reached fine tuning stage. Really, of kind of this squad or this team. Even certain players are probably outperforming, maybe what sort of, the typical player or maybe the ideal player that Ange might want in a certain position. For example, we were playing quite well in the second half, with Emerson playing as a left, wing back or left inverted sort of fullback of some kind, but that's not really his real position. And there's obviously other people out there around Europe or around England that could probably play that position better than Emerson can. But that's sort of an example, right? That we sort of have a lot of players that, maybe are just sort of also just doing a job for us when need be. And we can just definitely reach plenty of other levels of Ange. I'd be very shocked if this was somehow the peak. And when teams maybe start to figure us out, he even has said, it's kind of more about just maximizing the most out of the system and being almost as perfect as possible. And if you have, very, sort of effective and very sort of forward thinking type of, attacking style, it forces teams themselves to be perfect with their own style. They can't make mistakes defensively. They can't, have lapses of concentration. They have to be tidy on the ball, all those sort of things. And I'm pretty confident that teams, even if they do figure us out, if we continue to improve ourselves, we'll be fine.
Yeah, look for me. Look, it's hard to sit here after 10 games of beating going, does that have another level? But it definitely does. Look, what I've seen at Celtic, our goalkeeper's better than what he had there. He's better on the ball, better shot stopper. The defense is better as well. They're more or less doing what he asked the defense to do at Celtic. I just think we've got better players in terms of defensive wise. Fullbacks are doing exactly, I think, what he's asking for. Midfield is fine. But that forward line, compared to the fluidity I've seen with the Celtic one, it's not quite right. And for me, once you get that right, that's what elevates us to another level. That's where we become even more clinical. And also, a bit more strength and depth in certain areas. And I think, next year, I would expect us to challenge for the two domestic cups and the Premier League again, if you want me to be brutally honest. I mean, Ange Postecoglou, we only won the double at first season at Celtic. You think, okay, fair play, No, he stayed there and he wanted to do the treble. He wanted to win all three cups, and that was his motivation the next season. And he went on and done it. So this guy wants to win. He hates going out of trophies. So we definitely do have new levels to go to. Look, right now, we're not the finished article, right? We're not. We still have more, more to do in terms of getting players out, bringing more players in and stuff like that. But Ange gets results. So, that's why I say, okay, we're not the finished article, but I do think Ange has the man management to be able to see us, a long way through this season. And look, as for teams not allowing us to play our fluid self, with the way we're playing football now, we have to expect that they're going to sit in, and when they tackle us, they're going to look to pull us down at every opportunity if we're catching them, with players broke up field. But this is where the onus comes on the referees, in my opinion, where they have to sort of not maybe protect Spurs players, but they just need to be fair. The last couple of games, the referee hasn't dished out a yellow card to the opposing team inside the first half, despite, routinely fouling our players on the attack. And I do think the referees maybe need to get a grip of that. But I would say in that, I also think we need to go into these games with the motivation and the intention of being bad men, going out there and taking what's ours rather than waiting for it to come to us, which I feel is more on us the last two games. We've sort of waited for it to come to us.
Quickly on that, though, I could use that example of what Antony did in the Man City game the other night. Like, he should have gotten a red card because he looked like, just a little just petulant child, really just like onto the pitch, and really should have been, given a red pretty much straight away. And it felt like they were just sort of pitying Man United, like the referees and everything, by not sending him off and by not kind of, kind of even at one stage too, Bruno Fernandes, put in like a tackle that looked like he was really trying to injure somebody, like sort of type of challenge that also should have been looked at, probably should have been maybe red carded or at least given something more. And it felt like because they were just being absolutely destroyed, like that they were just kind of wanting to just play out the game and just, see it out as quickly as possible. But there's that worry that, teams at the top of the table that, they know like are going to be sort of running rings around a lot of teams. They will maybe sort of be on the end of a lot of kickings and a lot of sort of kind of pushings and a lot of sort of those type of challenges and things like that. And I'm curious, like you said, if the referees are really going to be accountable or really be that watchful or really aware of it.
Well, judging by what we've seen the last few weeks, Jack, I think the answer's already written in the stars, my man. I think it's a big fat no. But Al, Ben, brother, really do appreciate all the support, my man. Absolutely top notch, my man, and really do appreciate it. Hopefully you've enjoyed our talking point off the back of it, or our answers. Let us know what you think. Do you think yourself? Do you think there's another level yourself still to come, or maybe are you concerned this is as good as it gets? But really do appreciate the support. Anyone else, who wants to support everything myself and Jack do, feel free to throw in a super chat with your talking points. Of course, as you can see, we'll give great answers. We'll also throw them to the panel if we've got a member on while we're discussing it as well. So everyone will have their say on it, or you can grab them channel memberships and get on and have your say. And then we have this from Kay, but I'll tell you what, we'll keep it moving because we've got a very busy back end, and we'll bring Michael on to have a discussion on it. So Michael, good evening. Hopefully you're keeping well, my man. And we'll start with what Kay has to say here. And then he says, hey, lads, should we sign Adarabioyo and then allow Phillips and Dorrington to make small cameos towards next season, fully ready for the 25-26 season? I mean, where are you at with it, Michael? Do you think we need another centre-back still?
Yeah, I think we need a senior centre-back in January. And I think that's the message that we are getting currently from the club and from Ange, that I don't know.
Is that number one for you? Would you say, like, if
for me, like the top priority is centre back, because like of course this centre back will never displace Van de Ven and Romero. They are too good right now. If they keep playing like that, they are the starting centre backs, right? But as soon as one of them even like gets a knock and has to miss one game, we are immediately going from like one of the most solid defenses in the league to one of the worst ones, because Dyer will be on the pitch, right? So for me, centre back is a top priority, but I like a close second behind that is a forward option. Whether it's a winger or a striker, one of those is a top priority for me too. But just like slightly lower. By the way, I have to say one thing, because boys, we are sitting like on the top, right? But I also have to show you something. This is my local team last season, sitting in 15th, one spot above the relegation zone. And this is, sorry, just give me a second. And this is my team sitting on the top of the league this season.
We are top of the league in Polish.
We don't really have like an equivalent of that chant, but it's absolutely
You
like
need to start it then.
Like my local team barely escaped relegation last season, and they changed the coaching staff, they changed the ownership, because it was like city owned. The club was city owned, and they sold it to a private private owner, not like some sort of a sheikh who splashed a lot of cash, because it's Polish league, right? They won't be splashing that much cash, but the turnaround has been amazing. Yeah, and it's not like it's been some fluky results. They've slapped Legia Warsaw 4-0 like last week.
Wow.
Which was absolutely mad for me. And keep in mind, Legia Warsaw won with Aston Villa, so we know who is better, right?
Unreal. Good to see the turnaround. But Michael, just before we move on, I just want to answer Kay. Look, for me, when it comes to Adarabioyo, he is off the back of a surgery, and he hasn't really played for Fulham this year. And it's sort of, I really like the guy, right? I actually really like the player. I think he's a good defender. I think he'll do very well at Tottenham. But how fit is he going to be for the running? How much match experience or what do they call it? Why is my mind fucking going blank? I've had a good day.
Fitness, or is he ready up off the back of an injury? Right, that's the question.
Yeah, just sort of legs in his minutes and stuff like that, Jack. So that might switch our target maybe towards maybe more like Kelly. However, look, I'm okay with bringing in Phillips or Dorrington because I've watched them, and me personally, I think I'm a good judge of centre halves. I told you Eric Dyer was a problem. I told you Sanchez was a problem. I said Romero was a great player. I promised you Van de Ven would go on to stardom in my welcome to Tottenham. So look, for me, I'm actually okay with either of these coming in. I think they're very good, very competent players. And I think at some point there will be a point you might have to rely on one of these. But they're more for next season to fill out the squad when we're playing on all four fronts. They'll get cup games, stuff like that. That's where they're really going to come to the fore. But yeah, 100%. I still think we should maybe sign one, and because at the end of the day, competition is not a bad thing. Competition will only make, if you've got the right attitude, it'll only make you want to be better, want to get better, and stuff like that. So competition is a good thing. Just before we move on, though, Jack, where are you at with it?
I would personally need to sign a left-sided center back for me, Kay. And Adarabioyo, like Dave said, injured and is coming off the back of a surgery. I believe our other target was that Perishures guy out of Torino. He's also picked up a major injury of some kind and is also off the back of a surgery. So we really do got to go to Paratici, our consultant here, Kay, and see who he has in the books as sort of the, the plan C, the plan D, and, sort of options afterwards. And I personally feel like we have to prioritize the left-sided center back, because if Mickey Van de Ven is gone, there's literally no one that I have any confidence in that can play in that sort of position. I think, as much as I really know that Dorrington as well kind of specializes in the left side center back position, I think it's kind of a whole nother thing in the Premier League for him. I feel like we would rather sort of ease him into it instead of just kind of needing him to sort of hit the ground running straight away. That's kind of an uncomfortable situation for me. And I think that not really is what would kill the kid's confidence sort of cliche. It's just, I don't want to put that sort of pressure on somebody, but as a fan base or really on him in general, I think it's unfair to him and would just show bad squad planning, really. So I think we just need to get in somebody that's really just willing to leave their club, in sort of the winter window, and sort of there's an opportunity arises, kind of opportunistic signing, I would take it. And I think that's more realistic. I think it's going to be really hard to really sign a top quality center back that's playing a ton of minutes, that'd be willing to come to Spurs and kind of sit behind what is basically one of the best center backs in the league right now, Mickey Van de Ven. So it's got to be somebody that's just willing to maybe move from a club where they're not getting a lot of minutes to our club where they are willing to maybe just sort of have a similar position, but they know it's a, kind of fits both parties type of signing.
Yeah, like I think we both spoke about this topic, the center back topic, right? And I specifically highlighted Perishures as, for me, it was a good target. And I think, like, to back what you said, Jack, right? That like a top center back, for example, let's say from Sporting or Leverkusen, teams that fight for something, teams that are in European competition, they won't be willing to leave in January. That's the most usual argument that you use when you talk about January transfer windows, right? Of course, if you slap enough cash, then fair enough, right? But for me, like, Torino is a good example of a club that is actually quite solid. It's not like a bottom tier club from Serie A, but also going from Torino to Spurs is a huge step up, right? Because Torino is not in European competition; they aren't challenging for anything in Italy, right? So going from Torino to Spurs would be a step up. So because even if you sit like on a bench for half a year, then from the next season you can challenge for the spot in a top club, right? So I would honestly even be happy with loans in January for a centre back if our club does not identify like a proper target that they can buy and they will be happy with, right? Then I would rather have a loan of like I don't know who, right? But so only so that this player fills in the gap, so I don't have to see Dyer on the pitch, right? That's the main concern that I have.
Let me push you further on that. Will that open a can of worms though come January? Because look, if Postecoglou can guide us, he's still in the race come January, then it's all over to Levy. If we were to do that, would the usual sort of, well, not the usual, I mean, some of that has been true down the years, sort of cheap rather than having ambition, if we were to do that loan?
Yeah, I mean, I said that with like keeping in mind that if Ange is okay with it, right? That was sort of like an outside thing for me. If Ange is okay with like bringing in a lone center back, but it's all context also, right? Because if we bring in a lone center back, but we also buy Santiago Jimenez and a center mid if Højbjerg goes, right? And the center mid is like 30-40 million. That's a much different like view on the transfer window, right? Like, I don't know, boys. As I also have to ask you, there has been like a lot of linking between Spurs and Sancho in January, right? And I am concerned with the whole like attitude issues. We don't know if like what's behind the scenes in Manchester United, right? But purely looking from a talent perspective, and what this guy has shown, albeit like quite a long time ago, right? In Bundesliga 2 or 3 years ago. I would be actually okay with bringing him in as a loan for a half a year, especially if United would be willing to pay like a big chunk of his wages, right? Because like for me, I know it. You might like bring it to a casus of Danjuma. That's why bring in a guy if you stifle the development of one of our guys, but. I actually think like you have to be smart, in my opinion, in January transfer window, because you either will get skinned or you won't get your top target, right? That's why I'm only mentioning clones, right? Summer transfer window is a different thing, right, for me.
I might disagree with you very hard, Michael, and then I'm going to have to let you go after me. I'm going to have to let you respond afterwards. One thing with Sancho is I think we have seen that he hasn't played a lot of football in a while, right? So what sort of level is he going to be coming back to with everything that's been going on with him not really training, sort of just taking this sort of leave of absence at a few different periods, kind of, and whatever. Also, too, like he didn't just have, sort of quote unquote, attitude issues at Man United. He's actually had attitude issues at Borussia Dortmund as well. They fined him on a few occasions for arriving late. They had to sort of speak to him about like not going to bed so late and, arriving to training, not on time and like sleepy and all these sort of things. He had a few sort of, wouldn't say like super bad problems, but he had like, his own sort of issues that were also the case at Borussia Dortmund. And then on the top of that, we have already Bryan Hill and Brennan Johnson sort of operating as these kind of impact players at the moment. Brennan Johnson likely will take the starting position ahead of Richie, on the left wing, which then leaves Richie as sort of an impact position. So I'm sort of curious, does he even get ahead of Brennan Johnson, Bryan Hill, Kulusevski, all these guys who have been playing football for a period, and he hasn't even played any minutes, for like a while as well. And is he also a goal scorer, which is what we really need? I think what we really need is a goal scorer.
I mean, that's why I only like suggested a loan, right? Because if it was a half a year loan, then you don't commit
opportunistic
to that player, right? So it's opportunistic because it might work out, and then you will have like. I was just talking with my brother about it, right? And it would be like the biggest, like fuck off towards United if we loaned Sancho from them and he actually clicked at our club, right? Which would be hilarious, by the way. Even more reasons to laugh at United right now. But for me, it was just about like an opportunistic half a year loan,
kind of what we rationalized with Maguire at one stage because Dyer got that bad that we were almost rationalizing having Maguire. I think that's how bad it got with Eric Dyer that we were like, we'll just take anybody else for 6 months.
I wasn't part of that movement. That was David.
Yeah, Dave and I got really delusional at one stage. Yeah, Dave and I got really scary. But I see what you're saying. For opportunistic signings, what are realistic in January? Yeah. So, but it's just for me with Sancho. I just I don't know. It's not like I really believe in Ten Hag or anything. It's just that I don't know. I think the kid, in some way has had this sort of behavior sort of following him in some regard. But just maybe another question though, Michael. If you were in the stadium, Pochettino, he walks through that tunnel. What are you doing? Clapping, booing? I would be hissing actually because I think personally, he's on that side of things. I think he's on the snake side. I
would do the Caesar thing from Gladiator, pump down. Hissing for me is the perfect. Like every time I see this guy on the screen, I'm hissing. My brother is absolutely laughing at this, right? But for me, I think I said it once, right? I love the guy. I respect what he did at our club. I have like he will always be part of like my fond memories of that time, right? But as long as he's with the enemy, he's the enemy. That's the
Yeah.
reason. That's my reasoning, right? And it's because of Chelsea. It's not because of Poch, right? Chelsea is the enemy. Arsenal is the enemy, right? So you put the enemy. It's like your ex-girlfriend going to your biggest enemy, right? You even if you had like 4 good times with her, you will still be like, negative towards her, right? That's my reasoning. If he just appeared, for imagine if he was managing, let's say, I don't know, Bayern Munich, let's say, right? And we played them in the Champions League and he was there. No problems. I would clap him, sing his songs, etc., right? But it's because of Chelsea, right? I would even go further. If he was managing Aston Villa or I don't know, Liverpool, for example, right? Clubs that we don't really have like a conflict with, right? That aren't the enemy. I would still clap him, but it's because of Chelsea. Right, that's my reasoning, and I hope our fans book him, honestly. And when we smash them, not if we smash them, when we smash them, because if they play like they did against Brentford, good fucking luck. When we smash them, I hope that they just give him all hell, because he's with the enemy right now. That's I get it. We didn't approach him. I get it, but he still decided to go to the enemy. That's out of his own will. Nobody dragged him there. Nobody made him to be like the Chelsea manager. It was his decision. Shame on him, right? But it doesn't mean that his legacy for me is ruined, right? If he gets sacked, for example, from the Chelsea like management spot, I will still love the guy. I still have massive respect for him. It's because of Chelsea, right?
Yeah. Look, spot on. I think. Look, you can still respect the guy for what he done at Tottenham, but understand, we're at the top of the league, you got to make it hostile for the guy and his young squad. It's more Chelsea aimed at Chelsea over as an all rather than Pochettino individually. Absolutely spot on. And look, I love tribalism in football. I don't think it should ever die, because if you do, I think you kill a bit of the game, to be honest with you. But Michael, one thing I do want to ask you, I haven't really spoke to anyone about this, but I've got a sneaky bet on in the bookies. Can Sonny go on to win the Golden Boot this season? Can he hunt Haaland down? Can he be the new Kane? Kane used to hunt Haaland down. Is it Son's time?
He's on the rate to get close to 30. He could get close to 30.
Yeah.
It's a hard rate though to keep up. But
yeah, that's one thing, right? I would say he's my favorite to be second, but I just like Man City. They are so like the amount of time they spent on the ball creating chances for the guy. It's like I know we are better in terms of like shot creating actions this season, shots on target, etc., right? But I just think like the consistency of which Haaland like gets the chances to score the goals, right? Last like the game against United, he missed like 1 or 2 absolute sitters, right? And he was presented with another 2 sitters just to score them, right? So I feel like even if Sonny gets like 30 goals, I think Haaland will be at like 36 again, and the gap won't be big. But it's just like I think it would take like us stepping to another level to be able to provide Sonny with enough chances to keep up.
One-on-one with the goalkeeper, who would you rather have, him, Sonny or Haaland?
Son all the time.
People are now saying, he's the most ruthless finisher in the Premier League. Yeah,
that's tribalism for me. But I would take Sonny. I think there is like I think his finishing ability was on par with Kane's, if not better, in my opinion. I think like his XG conversion rate was better than Kane's. I feel like he is the best. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think over like last 7 or 8 years, he is the best player in terms of outperforming his XG. Like that just speaks for itself. I know it's stats game, and football is played on the pitch, not on paper, right? But I still think like Son is absolutely terrific in front of goal. And listen, Haaland, of course, like Haaland is a fucking beast, right? It's not diminishing what Haaland did, right? what I would love is Haaland to play 9 and Sonny to be on the left wing, right?
Yeah.
But you ask me one or the other, right? So the tribalistic part of me would say I would take Sonny. I think Sonny is. I think the quality of his finishes is just as good as Haaland's, if not better.
Nice.
I think he's absolutely clinical. He is clinical. I'll give him that when he's in front of goal. Absolute deadeye. But look, Michael, big yourself up, my man. Really appreciate you coming on and speaking to us today. Also, really appreciate you giving up your time Friday evening as well to have a conversation with us about Palace. Hopefully, you're around Monday as well, my man.
Yeah, we will see about that because I'm visiting my my home. And I will be watching the Chelsea game with my brother, so I will let you know closer to the. I will let you know closer to the weekend, right? But one thing I have to say, by the way, because we spoke about transfers a bit, right? But the fact that Romano confirmed we are interested in Santiago Jimenez, please, like football gods, I was a good boy. Let this happen. Please bring the guy.
Tell us why. Jack's going to put out a scout report for everyone tomorrow. Make your decision up on it. But Michael, tell us why you want him actually.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched like much Eredivisie, right? I'm just sometimes watching like highlights of Feyenoord, right? But I watched him in the Champions League, right? And I just feel like I think he's that missing piece in our front line. I completely get that if we brought him and wanted to start him, like it would probably mean Sonny going back on the left where he wasn't like at his best compared to when he's in the middle, right? But I think the guy's movement is so good for me, right? I think he's just at the right place at the right time, which I think is lacking currently in this team other than Sonny, right? I think if we had two outlets like him and Sonny, then it would also mean that all the creative like plays from Kulusevski and Maddison would have more outlets, right? I think we spoke about it. I think like Kulusevski, for example, doesn't have an assist this season because like half of his chances landed to Richarlison's feet and he's not capable of scoring them, right? Imagine if Sonny was there or if we had Santiago Jimenez in the middle. Like he's a big, strong number 9, but he's not slow and sluggish. There are some of those like big number 9s that are slow and sluggish, but they are really like strong and tall, whatever, right? I think he's still very young, agile, but also like physical. I love that. And for me, it's just a perfect investment into the future, right? Because if we buy a guy who's 22 for like reported 40 million pounds or something, right? And the guy being 22, like if we settle him well into this team, we can have a striker for the next like 5 or 6 years, right? And even if we have to sell him when he's 27 and he goes to Real Madrid, if he plays well, the price tag will be like 100 million, right? So for me, it's a huge investment that I hope that we make. I hope that we give Ange that striker, right? If not him, then Pedro Goncalves. I'd still.
You know what? Actually, I'd love him to come on. I'd love him to come in. If we're looking to get rid of Lo Celso, he'd be my guy to come in and play where Maddison plays. But Michael, absolutely great call, my man. Great to speak to you. And look, hopefully you have the bragging rights over your brother this weekend, lad.
Like he's absolutely shitting it. Like every time we speak on Messenger, he's like, "Oh my god." Before Brentford, he was a bit confident, but he just.
I've no doubt he knocked the sales out of his, stuffing out of his sales. But it's great to see Michael. Speak to you soon, my man. Thank you for coming on.
Have a good one, sir.
See you soon, Michael. Bye bye. Everyone, big up Michael in the chat. Absolutely great conversation. Big one for him this weekend. His brother is a Chelsea fan, so big one in his household this week. Hopefully, we can get the bragging rights done for him. I just want to big up a few people. First of all, big up Mark New says Don Paratici also has templates spinning in the air with different transfer options. He will have some in mind. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely spot on, my man. Big up, Mark New. Great to see you. Welcome, new channel member. What level have we got here? Let me go and
Flat
check.
Cap membership. Thank you for grabbing that Flat Cap membership. I wish we could understand, I believe Korean, but unfortunately, Dave and I, we haven't brushed up on the Rosetta Stone yet or the Lingue, but we can say that with the Flat Cap membership, you get a lot of the member videos and like when Dave and I aren't able to even put out, I would say, as many videos as we can in a week, the member videos still sort of stay at sort of the same rate. So you can kind of expect, a lot of the same sort of content on a pretty consistent basis. A lot more trash talk starting to happen, I would say, in kind of the fantasy too nowadays. I think now's your chance to really get involved. Of course, you can just email us or private message us if you are, a Flat Cap membership, and you could show it and you can join. I found out you can actually join like pretty late, into the league, and, see if you can take the title away from anybody. And there's also plenty of other good stuff that comes with it. But also Dave is doing a lot of polls and questions that are kind of just there for members too, and everything. He's doing a good job of that. And also too, just get a lot of sort of more engagement from us and everything, just sort of on a lot of different levels. So appreciate you, sir, or ma'am.
Make sure you get on it, and make sure you get into our fantasy league. It's getting hot and heavy in there at the minute. So hopefully we will see you get that team entered. And look, most of all, I really do appreciate the support. It is a tough grind out here, so every little does help. Big yourself up, and really do appreciate it. Then we have Ellie. She says, Halloween treat to you boys is a tub of your favorite Ben and Jerry's. This should cover it.
Oh, definitely. Well,
Ellie,
we'll cover it, Ellie. But I must say
I'll have to go down and get a tub of cookie dough or chocolate fudge brownie. Ellie, I'll give you the deciding vote. What one do I need to get?
Shows how much times have changed, though, Ellie. I'm starting to fall a little bit out of love with the Ben and Jerry's. It's kind of maybe, I don't know. It's sometimes the grocery store just doesn't really have it on sale as much, so you have to start looking at other ones. Kind of becoming more of a fan of just straight old. I'm not sure if you have it over there in the UK, Dave, or in Ireland at all, but just becoming a fan of Haagen-Dazs. I enjoy it. Yeah, I like Haagen-Dazs. I like the vanilla Swiss almond, Ellie. It's class. It's just simple. Just gets everything right that you need in ice cream. Also enjoy their pistachios. Enjoy their coffee chips. Just what I feel like with Ben and Jerry's, sometimes just too much stuff in there. Just way too much stuff in there. Then I just need it to be a little simpler. But maybe Dave likes more complicated ice creams than really I do. And I would say there's a sale though, Ben and Jerry's. Just as I say, there usually isn't. There is a sale, kind of near the grocery store that I live by. But I was just sort of looking at it, and I was like, do I like Ben and Jerry's as much as I used to? Big up to you, Ellie. And I would put it on the Haagen-Dazs now. I'd put it on the Haagen-Dazs.
People in the chat, tell me if I'm wrong, but there's nothing better than scooping into the Ben and Jerry's chocolate fudge brownie and getting a massive piece of brownie in it, or getting a tub of cookie dough with extra cookies in it than usual extra cookie dough in it. Nothing better. Big up, Ellie. Really appreciate the support, and I'll definitely have to fly down to Dunn Stores and get a tub tomorrow. Really, really appreciate it, especially because
I think I have a controversial opinion with that one. I think I'm about to be put straight in the chat, by plenty. I'm seeing Mia's disappointed, so this is not good for me, Dave. They're going to be on Team Dave tonight.
I see it. They're already Kane and Jack. Get out to Jack. Boo him for his opinion on Ben and Jerry.
Yes.
Cuba 99, good to see you in the build, my man. He's big up, everyone. Full queue to come on. It's absolutely, honestly, the thing is, right, I think you can have myself and Jack, and then I think it's 8 others in the back end. And there's just notifications flying everywhere. There's loads of people trying to get in. We do apologize. We will start speeding it up a little for you guys so we can speak to as many as we can. But the back end is full. But all I can say is just keep trying. We can't kick anyone out, to give anyone any favoritism. So you may all just keep trying. But big up, Kuv, my man. Look, I'm telling you, the year of the underdog. It is the year of the underdog. I'm on board with that. I want to say a big up, Mile High Hotspur as well, Davey Hall as well. Great to see you guys. Ben Impson 14, we can't lose sight of the fact Andrew's building for a squad that would challenge for honours on a regular basis. We won't sign stopgaps, even on loan. Absolutely fair point. I could see what Michael was saying, and I could definitely see what you're saying there. Look, I think where we are, I'm not sure loan options is the right move. I think we need to be a tad bit more ambitious than that. Greeny says, no thanks for Sancho. Solomon will likely be back in the new year. Absolutely fair point. And big up Ash and Pamaraj. New YouTube member.
Fan show membership is what she's grabbed. Thank you, Ash. And come on and have your say. We're rocking the fan shows as much as we can. We do them with the kind of the schedule there. It's sort of random, sort of days now, but we do try to keep it around Mondays, at least for now. So come on and have your say, Ash. Really do appreciate it as well. I know you've been in the chat a lot lately, and she also said earlier that she was listening along, while she was at work too. So really do appreciate you, Ash.
Yeah, I really do appreciate it. And, look, even if you can't get on tonight, you know, be nice for you to come on and have your say and speak to us. Big up, Ash. And make sure you get involved in all the stuff in the community section as well. It's absolutely writing in there. You know, it's full of stuff in there. But big up, Ash. Great. I really do appreciate the support. Potomac. He used to be my nemesis. I think we're best friends now. Good to see you back there. And hopefully you are keeping well. Son is one of the only players in world football that can play under any system and manager. Watch him perform with freedom for the first time. Not a second fiddle to Kane and out of the shadows. Look, what I will say is, yeah, he definitely can't play any system. I agree with that, you know. Look, he's going strong without Harry Kane is what I will say. And long may it continue because we really do need him to step up. However, we do need more firepower to help him. I think you'll even agree with me on this part, Mac. As big of a Son fan you are, others will have to start chipping in because, look,
yeah. He's inherited the Kane problem.
Yeah.
That's what you and I have said. He's inherited the problem where last season, everybody was, complaining that sort of Kane, was getting all the goals for us. And sort of, I think Sonny's now inherited that problem from last season, pretty much. Like, even though we used to sort of take for granted that both of them would score a ridiculous amount of goals kind of each season. And that was kind of the nice thing was that if Kane didn't score, Son was likely to score, or both of them just usually scored kind of in the same game. But sort of last season with Sonny's sort of, off season, and an off season for him is still like better than what Martinelli or something put out in a season, which is kind of hilarious. But his off season, meant that a lot of us were sort of saying like, Kane's taking a lot of burden right now. And I think now that Kane's left, we're just realizing Son's just now doing the same thing. He's just sort of carrying on that same burden, but we're still asking the same questions we were last season. It's like, who can step up? Who can help out this guy? Who can at least, put in some sort of, consistency in the goal scoring front so that we're not so predictable and not only, having the same goal scorer every time. And that's kind of, what Sonny's in a way sort of inherited, poor guy. But I don't know. I guess that's the nice problem to have of being a Tottenham Hotspur, top goal scorer, Dave, is that, you just these sort of questions you end up inheriting. I guess. And Sonny, I think it's not, I guess it is a bit of a shadow, but I sort of said to you, Dave, I think we just sort of take for granted as Spurs fans that we genuinely had like two pretty much top scorer Premier League players in the same team. Most teams don't have that. Most teams don't have two guys that are sort of guaranteed 15 plus goals a season, like guaranteed that, like sort of thing. That's very rare.
And look, this is what sort of disappoints me because I think we had, look, like we're talking about, Jack, two world-class players, a winger that scores you 15 goals a season, 20 goals a season with Harry Kane. If only we had the pieces behind them to be able to help them get over the line, we probably would have got over the line by now, I would say. But look, now we finally got the back line and hopefully we can get over the line for Son, my man. He really does deserve it. But big up, Potomac. Great to see you back, lad. We also have Kate, one more Ben and Jerry's on order.
No, I'm getting outnumbered, Dave. I think it was a howler of an opinion. There's some people that have said, Ben and Jerry's sucks, and like Phil Coys is being nice, saying, it's all right. But Kay, I think you're joining one of many people in the chat, clearly on the Ben and Jerry's team. When I was actually in Germany for a while, even my host brother, was a huge Ben and Jerry's fan and was absolutely obsessed with it. When I gave him, Ben and Jerry's, as a gift one time, just sort of as like a birthday gift or something like that. It was like, out of all the gifts he received that day, that was the one that was like, the one he was like drooling over the most. It was hilarious. So I must say, Ben and Jerry's have clearly done a very good job, out in the UK and in Europe. They've won you guys over.
They have, Jack. They have. I mean, look, it's probably that and Häagen-Dazs are probably two of the only luxury ice creams we have to pick from, to be honest. I'd say you're more spoiled for choice over there where you are, Jack. But
eating the fancy stuff.
Kay, you're dead right, my man, on the Ben and Jerry's boot to Häagen-Dazs. What's your favorite Ben and Jerry's, Kay? Put in the chat and let us know, brother. Again, really appreciate support. Top man. And then Kev Williams, great to see you in as well. Hopefully life is treating you well, sir. I just picked myself up another flat cap today. Can't wait to get on for the Chelsea game. Hashtag flat cap army. Hashtag Sonny for the golden boot. Look, if I do die, I mean, at least I brought the flat caps to people. It is a good style. You can wear it with anything. As you see, I like to wear them with track suits, but you can wear them with suits. You can wear them with jeans. It's an absolute, I've just bought the best fashion statement to a man, basically, that goes with everything. I mean, so when I die, that will be my legacy. And I'm glad to see you're picking up on it, Kev, just in time for the Chelsea game. But Jack, Sonny for Golden Boot, is it a real possibility?
You started it first, Dave, which I'm glad that you have. Once again, kind of early on the trends here, and I think with the consistency that we know he can score, and the fact that again, it is kind of hilarious that I did say sort of his last season numbers were a bit of an off season because once he went on that bit of a streak, I think at one stage, right, he had a bit of a streak towards the end there or whatever it was. We started to see that this guy can score at a pretty healthy rate. A lot of people are saying in the chat that the Asian Games will really hurt him, and or the AFL Cup will really hurt him. And so I don't know, like I feel like it won't because I have that much confidence in him. But it's like maybe that's something to take more seriously because he could come back really tired, come back really exhausted. They're likely favorites for the tournament, so they'll go very far. Which is unfortunate, in our sort of selfish case, where we just want him to come back, as quick as possible. So I don't know. I could see him finishing definitely second, like Michael said, but at the rate he's scoring, he's going to score at least 20. He's scoring 20 at least. I think you could definitely put a fiver, Dave, on him scoring 20 plus.
Oh, for sure. But look, what I will say, only takes a few running games for Haaland not to score again, and it definitely puts Son in pole position. If he can get in pole position, I think Son has the mentality to be able to carry it out until the end of the season, fully sharp and fully focused. Look, Kev, it's going to be tough, but I definitely agree with what Michael said. Even if he doesn't win it, I think he's going to be the second highest scorer in the Premier League for sure. But Kev, really do hope life is treating you well, sir. It is great to see you back. Big up Timmy One as well. Great to see you. 4 Earth Below, says, Dave, green and black's organic vanilla is off the scale. Oh, I might have to try that one, my man. Big yourself up. I'm going to have to try that. Get on that. Brad Matthew says Sean lost his fat cap. Everyone, when Sean's on live next, which is, I think, with me tomorrow, please get in the chat underneath and be like, hashtag, where is the flat cap? And then Neil Shafton says, F Ben and Jerry's, I'd take Dryers and Baskin Robbins, even Thrifty, but BR Chocolate Mousse Royale. Honestly, I don't even know what these flavors are on crack.
Neil's
Jack.
going crazy. He's gone for some definitely different brands for sure. Baskin Robbins, Dryers. I like Dryers, but definitely I would say Neil's getting more bang for his buck because those are kind of more on sort of the bigger side. You get a bit more ice cream for your dollar. And if that's sort of more your jam anyways, Neil, then you're probably actually the real winner because you're paying less and you're getting more and you're getting actually what you want at the same time. So that's a pretty nice luxury to have there, Neil.
Right. Well, enough of teasing Dave in the comments. I'm always a hungry boy, so enough of teasing Dave. Look what you started, Ellie. But look, let's keep it moving. Let's get on the next Jack, you bring them on. I just need to crack open a window because I missed put on the heating and I'm absolutely dying with sweat here, so I need to open up a window.
No worries. We'll bring in the Daniel Larson. You still there, Daniel? Sorry, I brought you in very quickly. Sorry.
No
What's
problem.
up, Daniel?
Nah, all good. Came for the Spurs talk, stayed for the ice cream talk again.
Yeah, that's the one that really hooks everybody. But I don't know where I want to start. Do you want to start with Crystal Palace or do you want to start with the Pochettino question that you will have to answer at some stage if you were in that stadium? But I don't know. You want to talk about Crystal Palace maybe first?
Yeah, we can talk about Crystal Palace.
Good performance, boring performance. What do you make of it? Brendan Johnson saving the day.
Yeah, I would say him and Emerson as well, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
But the first half was poor. But again, we've got to expect this. This is going to be happening, more and more. We're going to have sluggish performances. But people need to stay patient because I saw a lot of comments that first half. Oh my God, what's this? What is this? We stay a little bit patient. But I was completely calm because I knew eventually, and then the second half, Madison and yes, everyone.
I was very, I was very angry myself.
I know.
I was very angry. But look, rightly so. I think I pointed out my reasons why, and I think I backed them up. But what do you think was the problem? Is it too simple to say Ben Davies was the only problem in the half? What in your opinion went wrong? Because it just wasn't right. We didn't do the pressing that we done against Fulham. The play wasn't fluid like we've seen in recent weeks gone by. So what was the main issue for you?
I feel like the energy with the pressing, of course, we didn't press first half that much. And it was a lot like backwards, sideways a little bit. And Richie and Davis on the left didn't work at all. Like, just no. So, but But it's going to be like that a lot of times. So I don't want to get too pissed off.
Do you think that could be one of the last games we've ever seen Ben Davies in a Spurs shirt?
Maybe, probably not, because he's the only backup. But Emerson could play there now, which is I will stand corrected, of course, because I saw Emerson coming in. That's just going to be the same, even worse probably, because right-footed playing left back. But prove me wrong. And Ben Davies, I mean, vanilla flavored ice cream, not anymore, just nothing flavored.
Yeah, at least vanilla flavored is useful, Daniel. It pairs nicely with things, and it does its job. And that's what we wanted Ben Davies to do. Just do your job for 90 minutes. We don't need you much longer than that. It's not like we're asking you to probably play in this Chelsea game either. Please just do a job on the evening, Crystal Palace. And he wasn't even doing either job, right? I sort of even brought that up. Like, either make an impact going forward, be good defensively, just do one of the two, and we'll probably be able to get through this game. He couldn't do either.
He didn't win one. He didn't even attempt to head for the ball when a long ball came towards him. He just stood there. Like don't you just use this is what we need. We need all guard, to get rid, because this is the only one that's going to ruin us. Yeah. At this point.
Do you know what? I agree. I think if it does come off in spectacular fashion, I think we've got the same sort of people who, they're not playing, but they're still around there in the back end and stuff like that. And I do worry about the old mentality. So far, I'm just being able to keep it at bay. Look, that's why I think there needs to be a massive focus in January to really sort of try and shift some of these guys out. The ones that aren't playing whatsoever, really, really get them out of this football club. But Jack, where do you want to steer this? Have you got any specific questions?
I started in my Crystal Palace. Yeah, I started my Crystal Palace, but I really do want to ask him, like, Daniel, you're right behind the Chelsea dugout, right? You're just you're staring at the row of 40 million pound players you can't even name that are warming the bench there. Pochettino, he's in that touch line. What are you doing? You clapping, hissing, booing, throwing things? What's going on?
All of the above. I'm doing everything to just
you feel every emotion of it.
Yeah, but all of it just to get in the head, get in his head. So he does some stupid managerial decision or anything, because that can happen, of course. Maybe they have a good game and then he does something stupid, like, oh, do this or that, because the fans, because I think he expects us to be like clapping and such, because he probably still think we respect him highly. And of course we do, of course, nothing against him. Just, he's a Chelsea man. Like Michael said, you Chelsea. How dare you? Most disgusting club in the world, and I mean that too. The most disgusting club in the world.
Are they on par with Arsenal for you? You just can't stand the side of them.
Yeah, at like the club level, I think they're worse, just because the way
with Abramovich and Bowley and everything. Yeah, you just hate it all.
All that shit. So I can't expect me to clap him or anything. I'm just gonna give them dog's abuse.
Yeah. I agree with that. I'll be hissing because I just think he went against his own word, Daniel. And I think anybody who goes against their own word, and it's football at the end of the day. It's not really all that deep. I just feel like, I'll be kind of a dick to you, and I'll hiss at you, I'll boo you, because I just feel like there is some way to have a tendency to have a bit of honor. I feel like, and if you decide to make those jumps between clubs and you don't want to pretend to see the sort of, the connections and the rivalries and the passions between them. It feels like if you really want to pretend to be like a true club man and all those sort of things, then you can't go to the rival. You just can't. And whereas other managers are sort of like, they just understand that they're mercenaries and they're just paid to do their job to just, win games, and they sort of jump between clubs because they don't really care. But Pochettino didn't strike me as that sort of guy, as like sort of a mercenary type manager. Like, he seemed like a guy that really bought into what sort of the club does. So, and Ange does too, right? So if Ange went to Rangers, or if Ange went to like to Chelsea or Arsenal, I would find that also again very hypocritical. I think that would be absolutely. So that's how I see I see Pochettino in that sort of light. Like I think he went against his word, and at the end of the day, it's not that deep. I find that a bit snake-like.
Yeah.
And let's be fair, like he's probably expecting it too, right? Like, let's not go on like he's not expecting some sort of, backlash for it when he comes to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Of course, he's been in football a long time. Sentimentality will only bring you so far unless you're at Tottenham. It brings you to testimonials. But Michael Trinidad, go on.
Well, you saw Jesus Perez, his assistant, getting a red card, so he couldn't even take it. He was like, "I'm gonna get a red card quick here."
Yeah, get me out of here. For
He
sure.
couldn't have the balls.
For sure. Trinidad says, if not now, then when? Time to believe, Spurs fans. Work in progress, and we're number one. So we'll get better. We will get better to reach Andrew's full potential. Big up, Dave and Jack. Come on, you Spurs. Daniel.
Take advantage of it. Take advantage of the top of the league, basically, right?
Yeah.
You don't always find yourself in this position, no matter what season it comes.
Can we keep this momentum going, though, Daniel?
I think yes. So long as everyone stays fit, the first 11 stay fit, then I think so. I don't see any reasons. I just don't see anyone really beating us at this moment in time. It might be completely cocky and delusional, but I just don't see anyone, manage to beat us. And of course, Luton or Nottingham Forest could beat us, and then of course there you go. But I just at this moment, the way we play, at our best, of course, when we do the high pressing, just with Madison in this form, with our defense, Romero and oh my god, and Ndoshi being back, just who's gonna do it? Even City, when we play them, that's gonna be one hell of a game. Just don't see us losing.
Yeah.
That's confidence, and oh my god,
it's just good to be at this point, and I agree with you. I don't see us losing. Look, I don't think we'll go unbeaten. I mean, it would be nice to, sort of by the end of the season, maybe talk about being invincibles, or can we do it? That'd be absolutely awesome. But Daniel, next 6 games, starting with Chelsea Monday night, then we travel to the Molineux to take on Wolves, who are playing good football under Gary O'Neill. Then you're going to Aston Villa, who are also playing very good football under Emery, and fifth. I think they're only 4 or 5 points behind us. And then after that comes the ultimate test against Man City at the Etihad, with West Ham and Newcastle home games to follow. How many points do we need to get out of them sort of 6 games to still be in the title race?
Maths here. Don't fail me now.
3 points to win, 3 times 6.
Don't do it. So Chelsea 3 points, Wolves 3 points, and then Aston Villa tricky.
At home, though.
At home, they haven't lost there for like ages.
But I think they're on an 11-game streak, I think.
No, we're playing at home, is what I'm saying, Daniel. We're playing.
We're playing at home. Oh wow. Well, we haven't lost it. Wow. Okay, so that
So 9 points there, 9 points there. Man City away.
Yeah.
After
Man
that,
City away. Draw. I think. Okay, draw. Say draw there.
West Ham at home.
Yeah, destroyed. Jeez.
You have to win.
David Moyes.
It's not acceptable.
David Moyes in the fucking wheelchair. Put him on the garden.
Newcastle at home after that.
Oh, I think win. I don't see, because they also play, attacking, really like fluid stuff at times, but they've been ups and a lot of them are very inconsistent. If
you draw with Man City, like you say, which is definitely, that's a tough game, Man City away. I say Tottenham versus West Ham. Like, even if it's a tough game, it's not acceptable. We just have to win it. It's a derby, bubble blowers. I mean, it's just, it's the IrishHotspur derby for Dave as well. You just have to win it. It's unnegotiable. And, sort of the Wolves and Aston Villa games, I think the Wolves will be challenging because it's away from home. But even the Aston Villa game, it's at home. Like, you sort of then expect Spurs to get, a good result. I think we'd be disappointed if we got a draw. I'm not saying we'd be raging or angry or anything. But I think we'd be a little sad and disappointed. You sort of think once you get past that Newcastle game at home, all of a sudden the games get a little easier again, and it's you can start riding through it a little bit. It's how can we ride those waves, I guess is how it goes. How do we ride them? We'll find out.
And of course, like, this is just me thinking, of course we might have a loss in the, like, Wolf could, if we lose that, you never know. But we just, what I believe and what we believe, gotta have the highest faith in this team. Even though this still process, like, still, it's insane for me. This has been, I mean, Postecoglou is a miracle, man. He's actually the Santa Claus. Give me, I mean, I only Merry Christmas already. I could cancel Christmas. Don't need it anymore. Yeah.
I'll tell you, if we're top of the league, come Christmas, I'll definitely be calling him Santa Claus for sure. That'd be,
I mean, it's mad.
The ultimate Christmas present, Daniel.
God, just absolutely. And we got lucky because he wasn't our first choice or second choice. Levy's at least, and we got him. My God, no. I mean, this is just. I mean, last season I was completely down. I couldn't be bothered. And now, see this. You just think you can do anything now.
You do feel invincible, and it's a scary feeling because it's not where Spurs always feel. Spurs often do feel like Dave said, we don't often really believe in ourselves usually in a lot of cases. So it's funny that we have this feeling of believing in ourselves.
100%. And this is why when our fans, I see fans, arguments or fight even when, can we win the league or not? Why can't you just believe what you want to believe? If you believe we can win the league, all power to you. If you don't, all power to you. Just be happy. But just be happy with at this stage.
Well said, Daniel.
Yeah.
Well said.
Absolutely.
Because we thought I thought we were gonna finish fucking 8th.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? I completely agree with you on that. Look, I would prefer if more people start believing my way, that we could win the league. That would be absolutely awesome. But I absolutely agree with you, But the fact that we're here, because do you know what? I hear many people saying, you don't want to get too carried away just in case we fall apart and rival fans laugh at us. But us arguing whether we can win a league or not is actually making them laugh at us even more. In my opinion, they're like, look at them, they're top of the league and they still can't come together. So, look, I don't know. But Daniel, big yourself up, brother. Great calling, my man. Great to see you again. And hopefully we speak again very soon, my man.
Big up, Daniel. Great call.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to two things I just want to say quickly.
Yeah.
I'm not a big shirt. I don't really buy Spurs kits. I'm not a big kit fan for some reason. But I finally broke and I ordered a Van de Ven shirt finally.
Which one? Home away or third?
The way.
You would look good in the away kit. That's good color. It looks good on a lot of people.
Yeah.
The away kit, that's a good one.
That's he put a spell on me, to say the least. Jesus Christ.
By Christmas, we'll be seeing you in that Basuma third kit, maybe.
Oh, maybe. I could do completely.
Yeah.
Just buy everything. And also just lost.
Good choice, though, man. Van de Ven, away kit. That's a good choice. That's classy.
Let loose, lad. Go for it. Get the third kit. Next time we speak to you, I wanna hear that you've ordered the third kit.
Maybe.
It's just I don't like the color, though, but it might happen.
Look, I didn't either, but it grows on you, Daniel. It grows on you, my man. But look, great for your time this afternoon.
You said two things.
Yeah. This is not football related, but I just wanted to do a little, sadly Matthew Perry passed away.
Our friends, yeah.
And I just wanted to say, I don't know what I say, but he put, Chandler was my favorite character on it. And he made me laugh a lot and helped me a lot through. So I just wanted to, hope you.
Look, I think many people will definitely share them words. For me, he was my favorite character on it, Daniel. My favorite, always made me laugh. And look, sad times, but the good thing is, we've got reruns of Friends for years to watch. So, you'll always be with us, Daniel. But Daniel, go and have a good evening, my man, and enjoy Halloween, okay, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much. Take care, guys.
Enjoy yourself, man.
Big up, Daniel. Enjoy Halloween.
Big up, Daniel.
Great words on the guy from Friends. He was absolutely classic. Matthew Perry, big up, Ash. He was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. But look, we will keep this moving. As you know, we like to speak to as many guests as we possibly can on a Monday, and we're still got plenty to go. So make sure you stay tuned. Some say the best to last, but it's up to them to live up to that title as we bring them on. And we will start with the one and only Mia. Let's get her on here. What she has to say. Mia, how are you, my dear?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Sorry if you can hear something on my lap. You can hear some noise like something on my lap. Doggo decided to sit on my lap today. So she's on my lap.
Hold it up. Let me have a good look.
1 minute. Say hello.
Are you in the
Minnie.
puppy? Are you in the puppy having
beautiful.
vertigo from being top of the league?
Yeah, we are. Me and Minnie are only little. Minnie's only tiny, so she feels probably the same. She doesn't like the heights, do you? In
No, she doesn't like being heights top of the league. Yeah, it's too much, baby. It's too much.
But I also want to say Daniel's spot on about Matthew Perry. Like for me, as soon as I read that in the morning, I got quite early and read it. I did get quite emotional because I am a massive Friends fan, like a bit of a fanatic, if you like. I've watched them all, love Friends, watched them again and again. You just still laugh. So I hope he's in peace, man, because I know he had issues. So I hope that he's truly now at peace.
Yeah. Do you know, I didn't know until my missus was saying it to me when it happened, you know, what you went through and stuff like that. It's very, very sad. You often say it's those who smile the most and make you laugh the most that, you know, are going through the most. So
one thing I want to say is that he wanted to be remembered for more than Friends because he actually set up a foundation for people with for men with addiction, and he said he wanted to be remembered for that. So I hope that everybody remembers that because I think that's really important to him. It was important to him, so I think we should also big him up for that too.
Well said, Mia. Nice of you to touch on that as well, right? Not just the TV and everything like that. Well said.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, Pochettino. What sort of, you know, it's one the Pochettino question needs to be asked at some stage, Mia. Whether you want to bravely answer it now is up to you. But
I've got no love lost. Well, as soon as they go to the enemy, they are the enemy to me. I'm already on the let's get him sacked so he can go home and cry more train. Like honestly, I give
you're practicing your boos in the mirror.
Things back. Yeah. I don't know, Joe, it's a weird one because I said boo him and somebody else said when he comes on, turn your back on him, go completely quiet. As soon as they announce him or say anything about Pochettino, he comes on the pitch, go silent because that will freak him out. He'll be like, damn, everyone's gone quiet. Nobody wants to know because us booing, I get what people are saying. Someone said to me, is showing that we're bothered. And actually, I think for him specifically, go really quiet. Every single time any of the players boo every player really hard. Because if you watch Chelsea, as soon as they get a goal, as the opposite team gets a goal, they drop their heads. We don't. We get a goal against us and we're strong enough to come back, but they're not. So if we score first, I think that means they're going to drop their heads. If they score, we're not going to drop our heads. We're going to be like going at them still. So I think that's why I'm really confident about the Chelsea game because I think that they drop their heads really easy. And if we make it hard for them, if we boo them to absolute smithereens, exactly like we did with that Arsenal game, when, like Dave said, when we was going for the Champions League and so were they, that was ruthless. Like the atmosphere. And we got someone sent off as well. And I want to see more of that. I want to see us being a little bit ruthless with them. If they've got a yellow card, give them something to do. Make it so they get a second yellow and get that red card. That's what I want to see from the players. I want them to be a little bit smart with it and be like, right, we'll get this player sent off. You know, that's what I want for that Chelsea game because there's no love lost between us and Chelsea. And now he's on the enemy side. Absolutely no love lost. People say I'm a bit of a savage because I said that the other day about Pochettino going home and crying into his ice cream, which should be Ben & Jerry's, by the way. I'm disappointed in you, Jack. When I first started coming on it, we started talking about Ben & Jerry's, and now you've betrayed me on the Ben & Jerry's, and I'm not happy.
No. We'll leave at that at the end. We'll leave that question for last.
It's a new scandal.
You know why I'm so wrong.
It's a scandal.
But it's a good point though on the gamesmanship is right. You know, in the game will be needed, in that you know Chelsea probably will lack any sort of gamesmanship and being able to know when to sort of engage, when to go about it sort of aggressively, when to sort of not sort of engage in sort of like a bit of a scuffle, sort of all that sort of kind of I guess tactical, or I don't even know, that sort of games nous of being able to know the situation. I guess we can really get in their heads for sure, and it's up to us to not get into any sort of kind of unnecessary sort of kind of mental sort of stuff.
I think as well with someone like Romero, he's got a bit of that about him, And even James Maddison, he's a bit of a wind-up merchant. So I hope we just get into their heads and we don't let it get to the Battle of the Bridge. Because although everyone goes back to that game on the Battle of the Bridge, but we lost our noggins. Like, we were so lucky that no one got sent off in that game, because that game was mad. That was a crazy game. But we don't want that. We want it to be controlled. We want to have that, but controlled, and not lose our way with it. If we're going to wind them up, we need to do little sly things. We don't want to do anything blatant and lose our cool and start doing stupid tackles, etc. We want to do it in a way that's going to get to them and get into their heads more. I think that's really important.
I'd love to see Romero do a Materazzi on it. Oh, was it Materazzi to Zidane? You know, how's your sister or something like that? Boom, sent off.
Yeah. I love that. That's the kind of thing I quite like. That though, I wonder, like, if sometimes they're yelling at them, about their sisters, about like anything like that. I'm like, I don't mind a bit of that. That's fine. I think we should do it. Whisper in their ear, your mum was really good last night. Something like that to them. Do you know what I'm saying?
You and Dave are the same. You and Dave are the same. You know, like once the whistle's blown, you know, all that sort of, you know, niceties and everything just goes straight out the window.
Listen,
I like it.
Even my own dad said to me the other day, he was like, "You're savage. I wouldn't want to cross you. You're just like, you're on another level."
Ruthless.
And I'm like, I know. I'm seriously ruthless. And I'm like, you're my enemy. If I don't like you, then me and you've got a problem. Then you should worry. You should run real fast.
Speaking of ruthless, Mia. Or Dave, go ahead.
No, I just got to say, look, the way I treat it, I mean, look, for me, you know, everything up that day of the game up until after the 90 minutes, it's war. Once that's finished, we can shake hands and have a conversation, you know. You know, but when there's 3 points on offer, you know, I'll do anything I can. But me, there is something I wanted to bring up. I think we sort of touched on it on the post-match show. We just didn't have time to go into it in a bit more detail. So I want to bring it up, and it's to do with the Harry Kane money. If I remember correctly, maybe you're not so sure that that's there to spend this January.
I think that we factored in the money when we bought players in the summer. I think, honestly, that's what happened. That's my view anyway. But I do think that we will have money. I do think we will have money to spend in January. I don't doubt that, but it's not going to be substantial, I suppose. Depends what people call substantial. I don't like this whole money thing, because I think it's not about how much we spend. A lot of people, like, when you look at someone who says back the manager, I don't personally like it, because it is subjective. Some people, it's because they want to get players in early. Some, it's the amount of players that they get. Some, it's about how much we spend. Like, it's so subjective. But for me, it's important for Ange to get players that he wants. It's about positions that he wants, not what I want, what you think he wants, what Jack thinks he wants, what I believe he wants. It's not really, because we don't know what he actually wants. So for me, if he's happy, I'm happy. Even if I don't think, Joe, even if I just think, oh, that wasn't someone that I would have personally thought of or particularly liked. Listen, if Andrew's happy with that, I've got to be happy with that, right? Because that's the way I see it. If he comes out and says, I pick the players, no player gets in my team unless I say so, which he has said, then I've got to trust him, right? Like, we're looking at so many players. I did a video today, 2 more players that are, they've got multiple positions. One's a centre-back that can play a defensive midfielder. The other one's a left-back who can play left wing as well, I think it is. So we're looking at players a lot with multiple positions that are a bit more utility-type players, actually. So that wouldn't surprise me if we've got more of a utility player in, because then they will be a bit more covered, if that makes sense. So we are definitely looking. The amount of rumours of how many players we're linked with
picking up again.
It's definitely picking up again. Every day there's a few, pretty much most days there's a couple more new links. And I know, like, Santiago Jimenez is one. I couldn't remember his stats off the top of my head, because I did actually do a video.
He's having a good start to the season for sure. He's kind of on fire. Yeah, he's
definitely looking good. But if, like, overall his overall kind of statistics are still pretty good. He scores 0.94 goals per game.
He's kind of blown up in the last 2 years, but then beyond that, you know, he's still kind of a young guy and only just came from Mexico and everything too.
That's
so there's only so much experience too.
Exactly. So his statistics, when you look at them, he hasn't got like that much behind him, but considering he's pretty good, shots total 4.26 per game overall, like that's per 90. That's a not bad. So like he's still young, like you say. So I do think he definitely looks.
Is that
good.
what you want though? A young striker, or do you not really care what the age is?
Do you know, it's difficult. I don't know if I care what the age is. I think it's about the attributes that he offers, and I've got a feeling that we're not actually going to go for him, although we have been linked with him. I think we're going to go for a winger because I think that he believes that we can switch the players around and have enough players, and I think that's why we're looking at someone who is maybe a winger who can play down the middle. Because there is a player that again, I do so many videos. I write it all down in my notes, but I haven't got my notes with me. But there was one that we're looking at that is a striker, so he can play on the wing and as a striker.
Yeah.
So I think again we're more likely to do that because we're getting a bit more as opposed we can do with them. So
with Jimenez, right? I think he's a good player, but I'm a bit wary of bringing players in from the Dutch league because we don't have a great track record of recent times. Maybe the step up is a lot bigger and the intensity and the physicality is a lot more than maybe what we give it credit for. However, I think Richie could be gone at Tottenham. I think when I look at the situation, he's lost out on the striker spot to Son. He ain't getting it back. I think now he's lost the left winger spot to Brennan Johnson with Gill coming back. Solomon drew back, in and around the January period as well. I just think he falls further down the pecking order. And when I look across that front three, I think we've got more than enough wingers to be able to handle sort of what we need going forward. But I do think we need that goal scorer, maybe something a little bit different to Sonny, maybe someone with a bit more presence in the box, or Mitrovic, like someone like that. Something a bit different.
But I would say, Dave, that's why I think we've got Velez, and I think that Velez will probably start getting maybe a bit more time because he is
the goals we need, though. Do you think?
Probably not this year, but sorry.
Sorry, I think I was lagging. No, go on, I'll shut up. I think I'm lagging. I'll log out, log back in.
Yeah, I think with Velez, I do think that he will get a bit more time, Jack. I do believe that. And I think he's somebody who is different, and hence why we're looking at a winger, because I think he knows he's got Velez, and I think Richie won't go till the summer. I don't think we're going to get rid of Richie just yet. I think it's going to be a summer job more than a January job. I think that's the plan anyway. I don't know the plan, but I would say that would be the plan, and to give Velez a bit more time.
Yeah. Is center back, if you were to, I know you said whatever Ange gets and he's happy, you're happy, Mia, and I completely agree with that. I think that's very sensible. But if you were to be unsensible and you were to be throwing a fit, what would be sort of the number one on your list? Would it be a center back? Would it be a striker, midfielder, center back for you?
Centre back for me, left-footed centre back, because we can play if we have to, if we really need it. If we had a left centre back, we know that Van der Ven can play left back. So I think that's obviously something. I think centre back is my priority. I feel like that should be, because when you look the midfield, right, even if Højbjerg don't go, the midfield, we've got enough cover. Even really the wingers, although we are a little bit, we've got a couple coming back. So Solomon will come back. We've got now we've got Brennan Johnson coming back. We've got Brennan Johnson back. So we have actually got options where we can switch it. We can have Solomon and Brennan Johnson play. We can have Kulu play. So we have got Richie. I know it's not a popular one, but we have got him. So I think that we're probably stacked in that area. But the one place we're not stacked is the centre-back situation, where we need to have someone there that if one of them goes, that we're not worrying, that we're thinking, oh my God, so-and-so's going to be playing, I think that we need to sort of have somebody we can all go, okay, that's fine. It's not as good as, but we're okay with that.
We're not panicking so much.
I think that's why that area particularly is important, and left-back. And that's why if we get somebody who can play both, or do something like I said, I think that's also because when you think Ben Davies isn't good enough. He was just like, I said when we did the post-match, he was just like, la, 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 as the ball was going over him. Like, what are you doing, man? I wrote in my notes about 4 times, Ben Davies, ball over the head. What are you doing? Like, I was getting so frustrated with him.
You know, I lost my head with him that night too. I had to just detox myself from him, Mia.
Do you know what disappoints me so much about that? Because as a player, even when things aren't going well, you want the backing, right? And despite me not doing it, many have. And I just think he's let down them people. You know, everyone that stuck their neck out on the line for him, exactly what he wants when he's going through bad times. He's just let them down. And it drives me insane. Drives me absolutely insane. You know, you're given an opportunity to prove people like me wrong, you know, to show that you can't fit this system. You can't play this way without, you know, everyone else having to cover for you. I just think you let everyone down, to be honest.
Yeah, and somebody else was saying maybe Ryan Sessegnon. I was like, no, heck no, definitely.
One sprint and he's out again.
When I was like, he's made a cornflakes. Sorry, he can't. They said he's had the operation, blah blah. But when you've had an operation, you're weaker because that's obviously a weakness. And when you've been operated on, it means that you've had something done to it. So it's never going to be as strong. And it wasn't strong in the first place. So what have we got? We've got a bowl of cornflakes that's been sat in milk for like a year. So it's just basically soggy. We don't want that. Like, honestly, I feel like he is not an option. Reguilon, I still don't think is good enough either. So I feel like those are not options in my opinion. Well, he can come in and do a job, but he's not the greatest. For me, I feel like we need somebody else. And that's another position I would say that we're short on in quality going forward because we've got Destiny and Destiny is out of this world. We're not going to get someone on that level, but I want somebody who is decent going forward and can defend to a decent level that we're not going, oh my God, it's Ben Davies. Why is Sessegnon on the pitch? That's not what we want. We want to have that a bit more of a better level. And I think overall we want that for the whole squad. But for now, in January, I feel like they're important. They're important because that's where we're lacking a bit more. I know everyone's going to say striker, but for me, I just don't think that's a priority, in my opinion. I really don't.
Centre backs. Yeah, centre back.
Look, it's sure to be a debate that's going to rumble on all the way until the January window closes. What we need, what we don't need. It's going to be a fantastic few months.
Do you know the thing I was going to say about this whole... I said it in the group chat, Dave, this whole winning the league thing, right? Let people live. I'm like a bit of a let live person. Listen, if you want to believe it, I'm going to be happy that you're happy. I'm happy. I'm someone who's I'm like positively balanced. So I'm a balanced person. I'm positive about the future. I see nothing but good for the future as long as we've got Ange, because I really do think Ange is something special. But if I don't believe that we're not winning the league, I don't expect people to say to me, "Oh, you're this because you don't want to win. You don't think we're winning." But I won't do the same to you. I'll say, "Listen, live and let live. If you want to believe it, be happy." I'm happy for people to be happy, and it's getting so toxic around the fan base, arguing over it. Why argue over something? It's an opinion. If that's your opinion, I'm going to be like, cool, I can't control your opinion. I can only control what I think and feel. So I'm going to just say to you, cool. If that's what you think, Dave, I can think to myself, there's plenty of reasons, in my opinion, why we won't do it. But you've got things in your opinion that you think, and that's fine by me. Absolutely. I'm not going to sit there and dismiss it. I'm going to say to you, I feel like it's a bit, I would say, in my opinion, I say it for a joke to Dominic, he's deluded, but I think it's a step too far at the moment. But who knows? And do you know what? If we haven't got hope in life, what have we got? If we haven't got hope, come on, in life we have to have hope, right? And I don't want to be negative and I'm not a negative person, so I've always got hope. So if we do it, I'm going to be ecstatic, and if we don't, I'm going to say, okay, cool. That's fine. I didn't think it anyway, and I'm okay with that. So I just think that people getting a bit too much with this whole we're winning the league and arguing over it. I just don't really understand why we need to really, as a fan base, there's enough negativity from the other fans. Don't give them fuel to the fire. Just don't really need to do that as a fan base, getting at each other.
Look, I'm guilty of it myself. You know, I want everyone to believe that we're going to win the league. I want everyone to live in delusion land. But Mia, tell people what's over on the channel. Tell them why they need to get over and hit that subscribe button.
Well, do you know what? One of the things I will say is that I do get my transfer news out nice and early. And when people post it in the group chat, and I say, I've reported that like 3 days ago, people. Like, if you just watch my videos, then you know, innit? So I give you all the latest on the transfers. I make sure I get up nice and early. I make sure I look at all the statistics. I bring up the statistics for you, talk you through it, and then I ask for your opinions on it, because I enjoy hearing everybody's opinions on who they would like, if they would like this player. So I do those videos regularly. I do a live on a Wednesday, and every couple of weeks I do them as members. So if you're a member, you can come on and have your say as well, which is also really nice to get everybody else's opinions. And I do previews, reviews, and instant match reactions as well. So all kinds of different content, and I'm bringing out I've got a few other ideas of other little things I'm going to do while there is a bit of a break. When we have the break as well, another international break, I'm going to be bringing out some videos. So yeah, I'll be doing something a bit different maybe for people to watch, because obviously it's not much to talk about in the break. So it's you've got to try and find things, but I'm trying to find inventive ways of getting content.
Nice. Nice one.
Look, it's tough. It's tough, you know. All we can debate right now is if we're winning the league or not. There's nothing else to talk about. But people, please do get over, check out Mia's channel, hit that subscribe button. You'll see, you know, if you scroll down in videos, you'll see myself and Jack there. Plenty of different sort of variable content for you to feast your eyes upon. Get over there and check it out. Well, Mia, great chatting to you this evening, and we'll speak again very soon, I'm sure.
And Ben and Jerry's always hashtag.
That's right. That's right. Good one, Mia. Good memory.
The new scandal. See you, Mia.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, happy Halloween, and tell the young lads happy Halloween too. Hope you have a great day.
Oh, thank you. Oh, by the way, you're now going to be Morticia and Gomez instead of Kylie and Jason for Halloween.
Understood.
You can decide which one's which.
We'll do our. I once again need to do my research so I can actually provide you an accurate answer for next time. Yeah.
And the super chat you just got, that's my brother. So make sure you give him a stick.
Yeah, we definitely
will. Treat him not as nicely. Treat him not as nicely as we do others. Okay, gotcha.
Under me is don't kill us. But you know what, Mia? We'll let you take it before you head off, since it is the brother. He says people are not able to understand the difference between realistic and negativity. I would expect a channel of your size realize. Mia's
getting stick. Oh no, I'm not getting stick. Joe, what? I don't actually get much stick, to be honest with you. I'm because I think I'm quite balanced. I've not really had anybody tell me I'm negative yet. But if people do, Jack, you know, in it, I'll just be like, whatever. I just ignore people. If people are going to say things that I'm negative, then they don't obviously listen to exactly what I say, because like I say, I'm actually positively balanced. So I'm positive and I'm balanced at the same time, which I think is fine to be like that. I'm not being negative at all. I'm quite positive. I don't like negativity. I'm quite a positive person in general. So that's absolutely fine.
I'll be real. I'll be honest. I don't see unless Jack's timed anyone out, but I don't see where you got stick in the chat, to be honest with you.
Oh, maybe.
But I would say to Jack, like, if and he probably does know this, you know, being, you know, related to you, but Mia's pretty good at defending herself. Mia's pretty good at sticking up for herself, you know, when me be, you know, and too, she's very good at just, you know, even when she sees that people disagree with her, her opinion might not be as the common opinion as, you know, sometimes can be the case. You know, she sticks by it. And she doesn't really, she doesn't care what, you know, sort of waves hit her. She's done a very good job at sort of sticking by it, you know, no matter what. So. And we've always been impressed by that. We've always been impressed.
I'm sure he knows me well enough to know that I'm pretty able to stick up for myself in a way that I feel like I'm very respectful as well towards people. I'm not ever, I try not to be disrespectful, but if you're being disrespectful with me, then I'll be disrespectful straight back at you. Because
you're good at handling yourself, man.
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that. But in general, the ones that come on my chat are pretty lovely. Like I do find that I've got a lot of lovely people who do come on my comments, and even if we disagree, like I say, we disagree respectfully. There's no need for name calling or anything like that. I'm not a child. If I want to go and talk to children, I'll just go and talk to my children. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Well, Mia, great chatting to you this evening. Great conversation. We'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Take care, guys.
See you, Mia.
Nice
Bye-bye.
call, Mia.
Bye-bye.
Nice call.
Bye-bye. But Jack, if you did see something, please do let us know. Because I'll be honest, I think we're actually pretty good at sort of not keeping people in line. But if anyone comes in and I think they're bang out of order, we do say it to them, And it's like, we'll always give someone one chance. And after that, then if you don't want to listen to, the community that we're trying to create here, well, then, that's on you. But I'll be honest, I don't see it. I don't understand.
Mia has so many people that really. Mia also has so many people that really like what she has to say. I mean, even also like, so many people that are in this chat right now are, really more, almost even just as often found in Mia's, channel, if not more often, right? A lot of people really like her channel too. So I'm sorry if we missed something, Jack. I really do apologize, but I would say like a lot of people really like Mia over here. This is should be a very comfortable place for her. Should be a very comfortable place for her as it usually is. Big up though, man.
I'll put it down to a misunderstanding.
And I understand, my man. We understand that. And if we miss something, absolutely call it out. And also just in general, it's good to be that way. Big up to you.
I'll put it down to a misunderstanding though, because I'm going to stand my ground on this one. I didn't see anything. And usually when we do, we're very, very quick to nip it in the bud. But Jack, my man, I do understand it. I've got 3 sisters myself. I'm very, very protective over them. So I really do understand where you're coming from, my man. Big up though, Jack. And I have seen you on Mia's channel as well. I keep getting on it, Jack. Keep getting on it. But look,
Ribsy
we will keep the show on the road. Who have we got?
Believe it's time for Ribsy. It's been waiting
Ribsy,
patiently. It's early in the morning.
You there, Ribsy?
Or actually, no, it's not Ribsy. It's Rufus. Sorry, Ribsy is a little bit later. Rufus, if maybe we'll just give it a quick sec. Well, we'll go to KPV next, but Rufus, if you can hear us, my man, I would love to. It's been a long time, my man. I know it's probably late in Germany and everything, but Rufus, would love to have a chat with you. So if you're still listening to us, or maybe if you don't have the link or anything, you can message Dave or I, and we can send it back to you. But we'd love to have a chat with you. Miss you, Rufus. But we'll go to KPV, then we'll go to the Donovision, and then we'll see if Rufus can. Maybe we'll jump the queue with Rufus later. But we'll go to KPV to keep it moving.
Right, KPV time. Let's hear what KPV has to say. KPV, my man, how you keeping? Love the name.
Good, man. Good. Just watching the Ballon d'Or ceremony, and I'm still buzzing from the result on Friday and Monday as well. So in a space of 5 days, man, we won 2 games, and I'm absolutely buzzing. And we got Chelsea scum on Monday, and Poch ain't getting clapped, but I'm still not clapping.
Are you going to the game, KPV? I remember last week you saying you might go.
Yeah, I'm still getting a ticket. I'm gonna get a ticket. I'm just waiting for my boss to sort that out, because he won't be getting a clap for me when I'm there. When I'm at the game, he won't be getting a clap for me when I am there, because I won't clap him. So it's a bit of a shame for him, but still, he will always be remembered as the legend Tottenham getting us to a Champions League final. But he still made a mistake starting Harry Classy, the rest, in the final. Starting Kane in the Champions League final was a mistake. Lucas got us there, not him, and that's probably his mistake, starting Harry Classy, the rest, but don't like it.
So is that why you would boo him, KPV, in our stadium, because of that decision? You're still...
That's because why I'm going to boo him, because you start Kane in the final, even though he wasn't 100% fit. Like, him and Sanchez were in the stands in Amsterdam, and they were coming onto the pitch, and Kane was running, even though his ankle was probably still a bit bad, hurting, but he just ran to Son and gave him a big hug. And so we got to the final and brilliant, but should not start Kane. He wasn't 100% fit. Lucas got us there, so bad mistake, you know. But yeah, Palace, I don't know how that was not a handball because I saw it and it was not a goal. So I don't know how that was a handball, not a handball, but should
Do you
be
think
ruled
they're
out.
my brother KPV texted me saying that they're just trying that hard, to make up for the Liverpool mistake.
Well, they should really. Sim should actually get an apology from them because Sim predicted 2-0. Sim went for 2-0. If you watch on the ball, they done their predictions and Sim went for 2-0. Ben went for 3-0. So Sim, you should receive an apology from PGMOL and yeah, you should have your 5-pointer. But Palace got a goal, lucky. But that's that. That's all they're getting. But it should be disallowed. Lucky, but not great. But yeah, we've got Chelsea come on Monday. I'm definitely going, and we're going to beat them because they've now lost 3 times to Brentford at the Bridge, 3 seasons in a row. Ericsson scored a year ago. It was when we got top 4 under Conte, and yeah,
They
good.
going into the game rattled, do you think, KPV?
Yeah, they're
Chelsea?
going into the game. Yeah, they're going into the game rattled, and they've not got Tony Rudiger and Kante. They've still got the other one who scored in that game against us, September 2021, 19. It was the 19th, Thiago Silva. So, but yeah, we beat them last season because he actually went off injured in that game. So it's going to happen again. We're going to beat them there 2 seasons in a row, and yeah, because they're not going to win there for a 4th time because they beaten us 3 times. We couldn't score a single goal past them but it's going to happen again. And I said to I said to Brian Daigle on Tottenham on tour about 2 o'clock this morning that Bentancur is going to score the winner, and you heard it here first. Bentancur scoring the winner, people. Like
How's
he'll
he
have
going to do it?
screamer, mate. He's gonna score a screamer. Like, Sonaldo and he scores bangers, but Bentancur's time, mate. So Bentancur's gonna score against Chelsea, and so it's his time, man, because scored 2 goals against Leeds last season and 1 against Leicester and that 1 against Bournemouth. So 5 goals, but he's gonna score, and the Premier League ain't ready for him. So we're gonna absolutely beat everyone because, like, yeah, even though we don't like Arsene Wenger, he said we are contenders for the title. So at least he finally
True.
accepts. Finally, someone who beat us many times has said we're contenders. So we appreciate you, kid, but we still don't like you after you won the league at all ground. So I still don't like you.
KPV,
But
let me ask you, my man. Sonny for Golden Boot, realistic opportunity there for him?
yeah, 2 golden boots for Sonny incoming. Like, yes, he won it with Salah in 2022 when we got top 4 because he got 23, but should have scored a hat trick. Then he would have got 24. So against Norwich.
Any better than 23, do you think?
Yeah, he'll beat 23. He's going to score 24, but he wants to get 30 goals. But I say he'll get 37, I think, in the Prem because he can beat. Now he needs to beat that record, 36. Haaland broke Salah's record, and he's going to break it. You heard it here first, people. But we'll see how many he scores. But he's on fire at the moment. He's on fire at the moment, he is. And he is just doing great. What a captain should do. And yeah, so he's going to score on Monday as well. But yeah,
I hope so.
Bentancur, yeah, because I've got him in my FPL team, man. I captain him. So
Nice
yeah,
one.
I've got Romero and Madison. So we're going to beat Chelsea at our new stadium for a 2nd time. So it's going to happen. And yeah, we're going to go back to the top as well because City play before us. So
Yeah.
we're going to go back to the top as well. And yeah, we'll still, like, our record keeps going. We've got more points than Arsenal's Invincibles have. We have 26. They have 24 after 10 games. So yeah, we've got more points than the Invincible team had. So yeah, it's happening, people. We're going to go unbeaten the whole season. And I just want to wind up them Arsenal fans, and we'll break it. Like, they only had 49 games unbeaten, but I want to go to, say, 56, but 50 I'll take. But yeah, no one's going to break it. No one's going to break our run once we do that. So yeah, but Chelsea Monday, and yeah,
You have
can
any Chelsea mates, KPV, or you stay
yeah, I've
away
got a
from
mate actually. His name's Ashley West, and he wants me to give him a program when I go there. Which I'll give him one. He'll have Big Ange on it. I think it'll be on a TV.
better
He
have
wants.
Big Ange on it.
I'll give him a program, as I said. So I'll bring one back because I'll have to send it to his address because
Make sure you
yeah.
write the score of how much Spurs beat them by as well on the program.
Yeah.
Well, we're at home, so I'll say 3-0. Like, I want the same that we did to Arsenal under Conte when, we won 3-0, and we want that we want to do that again, but under Big Ange against Chelsea. So, 3-0. We've not kept a clean sheet, but last season was the first time since 2017 when we won 2-0. So, 2-0, and that's
Like
probably
it.
the second time.
Who's letting the dogs out again on your Monday evening?
Who's letting
Since
the dogs out?
someone's got to let
Yeah,
them out for you.
well, it's going to be Big Ange. And goal scorers, 3-0. Son, Bentancur. Well, he's getting a winner. So it'll be Son, Romero, and Bentancur. So 3-0,
Nice.
3-0 Tottenham. And man of match, Vicario again. Another brilliant performance. So another clean sheet. And
Yes, sir.
we'll be happy. So we're going to win. And
Nice
we're
one,
not going to
KPV.
lose people because our run will continue. And those lot are going to lose to Newcastle this weekend. So Newcastle, just do a Trippier, do what you did a year ago, beat them, please. And they're going to, because apparently Gary Neville thinks that they're favourites for the league. Is he dumb? They're not going to win it. We are. We're top, and I don't like what he said about us. Like, he's just a disgrace, man. Like, he said he was copying Pep, but as Big Ange said, how did that work out for you? he, he just
Gary
wanted to
Neville's
talk
been in
Pep,
the
man.
mud once again, KPV, and
We're
I
gonna,
think we're not all that surprised. But my
we're
man,
still gonna win the league, and I'll be at the front of that parade. The double's on, people, so keep the faith, and
yes,
it's happening. So,
nice one, KPV.
since
Sign us
Dave
off,
not going to
sir.
be at the game Monday, I'll probably see Ben and Sim. So I'll see you all. I'm
Nice
going to
one,
be on the
KPV.
train anyway, because, fan camp, like I said, if you hear the train too loud, because everyone's always too loud on there when I'm on it, they're just speaking. So, but I'll speak to you all hopefully next week
Nice
when we
one.
win. So I'm out, people.
Hope
And
so.
and I want to say rest in peace to Chandler, known as Matthew Perry, who played Chandler Bing. I I saw it on Twitter yesterday morning when I was still asleep, and I didn't expect, but I used to watch it with some of my mates, and he was my favorite. And he did say, "I bet you I'll be the first one to die," and he said it. So, but rest easy, my friend. And
Nice one,
I
KPV.
will always be thankful to people who have me watch that TV program. But rest easy. And now there's only 5 people from that program left. David Swimmer, who played in Madagascar, the giraffe. So I'm out, people. And Rufus has
Nice one,
gone to
KPV.
bed, if you're wondering, because Rufus has got start early tomorrow work, so he's gone to bed. He said in the chat. So I'm out, people.
Have a good night, my man.
And I'll see you all next time. And as always, come on, you Spurs, in big and we trust.
In Big Ange, we trust.
Big
Nice
In Big
call,
Ange, we
KPV.
trust.
See you, man.
See you, KPV.
See you, boys.
See you, my man.
Yeah.
See you, my man. Great calling. I really do hope he gets down to the Chelsea game. It'll be a wild night.
Yeah.
There'll be nothing better than seeing KPV at the stadium against the rivals. I'd absolutely pay to see that. But look, Jack, what direction, what destination are we off to next? We've got Australia, Ireland, and Canada left. Which one are we going to?
We're going down to our Aussie, man. We're going to the morning
down
time,
under.
Dave. It's a early riser, Mr. Ribsy. See what he has to say.
Let's get him on. Big up, Ribsy. How you keeping, my man?
Not bad, lads. Pretty happy, pretty smug. You know,
waking up smug.
It's good. It's good. Well, I mean, it's nearly 9 a.m. here now, so it's not even early. So,
True.
Great day.
Day
so
has
far.
to get started. Yeah.
Just listening to you guys and the usual suspects that come on here. It's been good fun.
Well, the question that I kind of keep asking people is, do you want to start with Crystal Palace, or do you want to start with the question that I inevitably will ask you about Pochettino? So where do you want to go, Ribsy?
Oh, ask me the Poch one. Why not?
Well, you're going to have to, put yourself behind the dugout, picture, where your seat might be. You get to stare at the list of 40 million pound players you've never heard of, on the Chelsea bench. And Pochettino is in that, touchline. What are you doing? You hissing, booing, throwing things? What's going on?
I don't know whether I'll throw anything, but I'm certainly not going to be cheering for the bloke. There's got to be, there's got to be something wrong with you, or it's got to be the only job that was available to him to take the Chelsea job after being effectively a Spurs hero.
Yeah.
You think about what kind of person you got to be. You either got to be desperate or a complete fucking arsehole. So either way, I mean, I've got sympathy for him if he was desperate. I'm sure he gets paid fairly well everywhere he goes, so I doubt he's that desperate. But oh man, that's shocking. Like, when it first happened, I was sort of like, well, we've hired a lot of Chelsea managers in recent history, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. But thinking about it, like I like if they just picked up, if it was just Chelsea picking up a Spurs manager in a vacuum, I'd be pissed at Chelsea. But I'm not pissed at Chelsea because we've had Mourinho and we've had Conte just recently, So I'm only mad at Pochettino for doing it. I'm actually, in hindsight, I'm really thrilled that we didn't. A lot of the fan base were calling to get Poch back after Conte, and I mean, obviously, you see the results, right? I think Poch would have done a better job here than he's done at Chelsea, but still, no way now.
Could Spurs get him sacked?
Oh, God. Yeah.
If Spurs get him sacked,
could
it'll
it be
justice,
the case?
Like,
is he under that much pressure?
It'll be justice. Look, Chelsea are in such a disastrous situation right now, and as you said, they've spent all this money on like TikTokers and complete and highlight reel, players, the kind of crap we used to do. We go and buy Ndembele, it was our biggest transfer. He probably still is our biggest transfer ever. And, he's exactly that sort of player. That's what they've got a team full of now. So justice, I guess.
It is kind of like that to a degree. Do you feel like, though, the Chelsea team, are they going to be going into this pretty rattled already? Like, do you feel like they might have sort of a bit of a nervousness about like, man, this could be sort of not a great atmosphere to be going into after just losing to Brentford, right? That's also, they needed to win that, I feel like, for confidence sake, even going into this.
I just really hope that our fans just get on top of them right from the first whistle, and we just crush them with noise in the stadium and just hound them for every mistake they make. I think that their fans will be a little, they'll be a little concerned that we're going to absolutely batter them, But then again, if our guys get overconfident, that's going to be an issue as well. So still anyone's game, still football, and that's still Chelsea. So we've got to be careful.
Do you believe that they're warming up or getting better, or do you think they're still kind of as clueless as they sort of began the season?
Well, they have to be getting better. I mean, they've been playing together. I mean, surely they're getting better than they were at the start of the season. I think we're getting better as well. And the process is God, I hate myself for even saying that. But yeah, no, it's the Ange system is starting to really settle in. And I can't imagine us losing it. I can imagine an ugly draw, but I can't imagine us losing it.
Yeah, I think that was to refine my question. I meant to say was, really, are Chelsea really any good actually? Like, are they even good enough to even take anything from us, to even really give us much of a game? Yeah, maybe they might score a goal that we might, catch us off guard or something like that, but are they actually good enough to win or even put up much of a challenge? Some might say that this could be similar to that Man United Man City game where there's just a clear favorite. Could you say that Spurs are just clear favorites, kind of like in that Man
I'd
United
love
game?
to see. I'd love for it to be like that. I've only seen highlights of that match, but it really looked like City just took them to the sword. I'd love for it to be like that. I just like so many people, I've got this sort of image of Chelsea as this ugly mercenary club where no one there really gives a shit about their club. They're all just overpaid, expensive players from everywhere all over the world, and they just show up and they're just playing for money and just screw them. I mean, I'm sure our guys aren't much better, to be perfectly honest. Like, they're all highly paid professional athletes, but it's the mental image of it. And I just love to crush things like that because I just find it disgusting. So they're just
Poch is a mercenary by going there. I think that's,
exactly.
he made himself a mercenary by doing that. I think where to me, why it's a betrayal is he made himself out to be at Spurs, not to be that sort of type of manager. There are plenty of managers like that are mercenaries. That's well and good, because I think they've established themselves to be that sort of type of person. And so you know what you're going to get with when they're at your club. But I think with Poch, he did a bit of the Ange treatment where he, said all these soft, kind of nice things and, cries, when we win and, all these sort of things. Like, I just don't think you can do that and then, go to the enemy. And like you said as well, a Spurs hero, not many Spurs heroes as well sort of go to, the big rival either. That's something that's also not very common.
No, we've got one guy that stands out from the history that the fans will never stop chanting about. So, it's
Glenn Hoddle did it. Is there something to be said about that, or is that kind of different?
I think that, if for some reason it is different, and I'm not entirely sure why.
I'm too young to have an opinion, really. I think.
Yeah. I think when it feels like someone's achieved so much at one place and they move on to somewhere else, it's less of an issue. When someone's like, they're, like an icon of a club and they never quite cross the finish line, and then instead of toughing it out and getting it done, they go to the enemy. It's like, come on, mate. Like, at least get the medal, get the trophy, tick the box, get the statue talk, and then move on. And then everyone goes, well, I mean, you did us a solid. We like you, so go wherever you want. But when you don't quite cross the finish line, it doesn't feel the same.
I think that's the difference. I think you got to remember Glenn Hoddle won things as a player at Tottenham, and I think that's why he'll always get that grace. Whereas Pochettino, although he brought us to the promised land on so many occasions on all competitions, just never quite got over the line. And I think that's probably the difference, as you know, we as Tottenham fans, although the last, we've had a good drought, I mean, we do like to win things. And I think that's why Glenn Hoddle, sort of gets that over someone like Pochettino.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And sort of, I had a question earlier, Ribsy, and you seem like a smart guy to answer this one. There's a theory that's going around that I saw on Twitter, and if it were to crush any of your sort of, invincibility feeling right now, is that Spurs maybe haven't played nearly as convincingly in the last few games compared to how they played in the beginning of the season. Are we getting away with it in the past few games? Do we need to turn it around a little bit?
Well, here's the thing, like, teams are adapting to us as much as, whether I don't think our form has dropped so much. It's just like, if you saw Palace, like that, as much as it's hard to say whether Palace fans were booing them for not pressing us or whether they were booing us because we weren't giving them the fucking ball. Are you kidding? But that's what it felt like. Their strategy was the complete anti-Ange ball strategy, which is don't press, because as soon as you do, they're going to cut you to shreds. And we saw, with our second goal, that's exactly what happened. I mean, it wasn't quite as clean as when I first watched it, I thought it was the cleanest goal I've ever seen. But watching it again, there's a lot of like little deflecty sort of bumpy balls, and the ball that ended up being the assist that goes to Son, it's bouncing up higher than you'd want for that sort of range of pass, and Son does a great job to finish it. It's not as clean as as I wanted, but we really did tear them to shreds with that goal, and that's what happens. So teams, as I understand it, are now wise to that to a greater degree, and it's making it tougher for us. But you're going to have the big six clubs are going to have ego, and they're going to have a team mentality that's a certain way of playing, and they're not going to do what Palace did, which is adapt a way to sort of try and counter us. They're just going to try and play their football. And I think we've got the best football at the moment. As weird as it is to say, we've got the best football.
Okay.
And whether that's partially to do with tactics and partially to do with like team mentality and people's happiness in the club and the team and all that sort of thing, it's irrelevant. It's the best football in the league at the moment. And I think we're going to show it against stronger teams than we are against weaker teams, because weaker teams are just going to try and just cram as many men in the goal mouth as they can and just.
I actually agree with that. Sorry, just quickly. I think my internet's gone crazy. Just quickly though, you've seen that at Celtic. The bigger games is where he got applauded for a lot of his football and his approach. The smaller games in Scotland, although Celtic were winning them at times, some of them were late on and were not struggling to break them down. But, Postecoglou was well versed coming up against smaller teams. And look, Tottenham, you even go back to the Champions League run under Conte, Brentford and Brighton, who sort of played a mid-block to stifle us completely low block, really caused us problems. You look at the tight games this year, teams that have caused us problems, teams that sit in. I think that's very important what Ribsy has said there. It's true. Against the bigger teams, I don't really fear it as much, because I think, like Ribsy says, they has their ego, they're going to leave a lot more space in behind, which is what we actually want. We want to use the pace of Sonny in behind and stuff like that, a bit like what we've done to sort of Burnley and Arsenal and teams like that. So, but look, I would like, I don't know about you, Ribsy, because I do want to talk about this Ndombele thing as well. But, is there more the Spurs squad could be doing going into games to sort of break teams down? Because I do find myself the last two games just sort of expecting teams to fold rather than us actually go at it with a real sort of purpose.
Is there more that we could do to break them down? Is that what you're...
Yeah, okay. These low block teams.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's a battle of attrition in a way, isn't it? And you've just got to keep working at it. I think our away fans are so brilliant at just continuing to chant and to keep the players going. I honestly think that, and it feels weird to say it, but that last home match we had, Fulham, wasn't it?
Fulham, yeah.
Is that our last? Yeah, yep. It's. I was surprised with how quiet the stadium seemed when we were sort of just trying to build up those sorts of chances, and I just feel like the best thing that we can do as a fan base is to make that just deafening in there when we're holding the ball and we're working the play up. It's just the more the sound sort of gets to the defending players, there's a possibility that'll help. Apart from that, in play, I mean, we've got to just deal with the players that we've got. We've got some creative passes. We've got some, I still see every game a lot of people getting on top of Kulusevski and how he plays. But I think people have forgotten that this guy was brought in as sort of like a lot of the talk was around him being like a wide playmaking option for Conte's team, because we were lacking a lot of creative passing options. And this guy's not like an out and out sort of speedster winger. He's there to sort of build the play and to pick out some creative and intelligent passes. So I think if people focus more on that aspect of his play, which I think has been very good this season. Obviously he hasn't kicked the ball into the goal as much as people would want, but I mean that's not really, I think, his forte. What we can do in terms of the play, it's like Ange knows more about this than me. So I just trust that he knows that this is one of those ones where you just got to keep bashing your head against it until they crumble. And if you can make them frustrated in the build-up play that they're not getting any possession, that's when they're going to start doing those wild presses, and that's that's when we're going to start to capitalize. So sometimes that's in the 70th minute, sometimes that's in the 80th minute. Unfortunately, it sucks, but that's football. And if we've got them running scared, they're gonna stand in the goal mouth and they're gonna just defend and try for counterattacks. And that's a sign of how good we are, I think, not anything else.
And last question here, Ribsy. Let's say $500 of your own money is on the line here. Holland or Sonny with the one-on-one. Who do you want to take it?
One-on-one.
Who's the better finisher in the Premier League, Sonny or Holland?
Better finisher in the Premier League. I think that as a pure technique, I think that Sonny's better. I think in every other aspect, Holland is better. I think that Sonny, instead of taking the one-on-one, he just squares up and just shoots it from outside the box, and he's probably going to score it. You know, if it's one-on-one, he doesn't need to take it in close. But if he's going to take it in close, Haaland's probably the better option for sure. Look, they're both fantastic players. And if we were in the French league, they'd both be in the same team, right? So
True. Ribsy, big yourself up, my man. Sorry I didn't get to speak to you more. My internet is going crazy. As you can see, it's still continuing on from the watch along there on Friday night where it just completely crashed on us. But Ribsy, great to see you back, and please keep coming on these fan shows and having these conversations with us, sir.
Good times, guys. Have a good one.
Great call.
And if you're awake for any of the build-ups and you want to pop on, just let us know, my man, all right?
Yeah. No worries.
Yeah. Stay in contact.
See you on Monday.
See you, sir.
See you on Monday, Ribsy. Come on, you Spurs.
See you, sir. Have a good one.
Absolutely love that guy. You know, he really speaks a lot of sense. I could listen to him all day long. He's absolutely brilliant. I just want to say a big up to Hotspur J as well. No need to ever apologize, my man. We understand people have lives to live, other shit going on, you know. Believe it or not, there's actually a world outside of this, this YouTube sphere and stuff like that. We understand, my man. I just hope that life is gracing you with all things good, my man. So big up, Hotspur J. Great to see you. Adam Crew in here as well. Good to see you. And there's only one area Haaland is better than Son is in physicality. I agree with that. Big up Taddis as well. Great to see you in the building. Ugly Fish still with us. And also Jim. Do you know what? I love this guy. He's going around. He's telling everyone we can win the league. I see him absolutely everywhere debating with people that we're winning the league. Absolutely love it, Jim. Keep it up, my man. Great to see you still here with us. And also the one and only Brad Matthews and Ugly Fish as well. I didn't know Fish could be ugly, but big up, my man. Absolutely love it. But look, let's keep this show on the road. We do have 2 guests left. Where are we off to next, Jacko?
Donovan, let's head on over to him. He's the man after me on fantasy.
Dono, my man, how are you keeping? I haven't spoken to you in quite some time.
Yeah, it's been a while, guys. I'm making my comeback, not just on here, but in the league as well. Come on.
Yes, sir. Oh, I loved what I heard when you made the. I think, where were you actually? Can you remind me? So were you like near Dave, or something like in the league, and then now you're like all the way past me here?
I think I might have been like third last or something when I joined in that second week though. Yeah, I was quite a grind to get back up. Yeah.
Dave was saying he shouldn't take advice from me anymore. He should take advice from you, man. Like, third bottom he was, Dave. Close to top of the league he is now. That's just impressive.
I don't know, man. You just keep quick selling Holland, and I think we'll just be fine there, Dave.
You know what, Donovan? Do me a favor every Friday. So just drop me a message of what changes you think I should make, because I'll be honest, I've completely lost my love for it, because I tried to get into it at the weekend. Jack sent me a bit rogue, told me to take out Flecking, told me to take out Evan Ferguson. But look, I'm big enough and bold enough to maybe know that, I should stick to my guns sometimes.
Sabotaged him.
But, I got more points than ever before, but I still went down places, lad. It's driving me insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's a bit of trust your gut, trust your players you like, and just hope the dice rolls your way. I mean, right? I got a couple good points, and I got like 50 points, and I'm still down at 13th. So I don't get these places, but either way, let's start talking about Spurs, boys. Let's up the Spurs, man.
Yeah, man, you're working out. What's it like? Working out. Being a Spurs fan. It just feels great. I love going on my runs in my Spurs kits. What's it like? Just walking around in the Spurs kit these days.
Well, yeah, that's it, Jack. I might have to start wearing a Spurs kit now in the gym. Now I actually got a bit of pride. It's
nice.
Let's hide behind the rock and let's say it with our chests, man. It is a bit of. We thought at the beginning it was a honeymoon period. And then it's like, it's just Spurs and whatnot. But you know, we do something against City, people are gonna have to start talking about us in a different light, man. Like it's happy days. And the best part is that I think as a fan base, we all kind of realize that we're not at our top gear yet. I don't think we've gotten out of second gear, maybe since that Burnley game. There's still a January transfer window. And we're a left winger and a couple reinforcements away from something special here, guys. What that means, who knows? But I'm just going to let Ange and his 7 league titles of experience take control, because I'm just loving it now.
Where do you sit on the debate, though, whether we can win the title or not? Because, look, I've sat back and I've sort of analysed the situation, right? I've listened to arguments from both sides, plus my own fantastic, wise opinions as well thrown in there. But Donovan, you know, I've sort of weighed it up and I sort of looked at it, and my conclusion is, you know, when I look back, you know, under Conte, under Jose Mourinho, we were, you know, yes, we were, you know, we sort of tailed off, but we were never really too far away from really finishing in the Champions League spot. And I've always maintained, you know, you improve that back line, you know, and you stop conceding the amount of goals we do, it could propel you, you know, certainly in a title race. So my question is to you, I mean, we've improved that back line. It's put us 10 games unbeaten. How much further can we take it? You know, are you one of these where you think we can, or do you maybe think, look, maybe there's a bit much going against us?
No, Dave, you touched on a couple of good points there. I mean, if you look at the squad under those pragmatic managers, you're right. We weren't that far off of it. I mean, we weren't playing our style of football, and that's the main thing, right? Like going on the front foot, being that dominant force in games, and just being the Tottenham Hotspur history that states we are a dynamic attacking team. The only thing that kind of holds me back a little bit with full confidence is the loss of, I mean, you know, Harry Kane. I mean, you know, having a talisman like that would have been night and day. I do have faith, though, that having an attacking minded manager with those players, the backline, I mean, our January transfer window is going to be huge. We have to go with third back end Postecoglou. It doesn't start with being budgeting players. It has to be with statement signings now. Whether it is that we use the likes of Don Paratici there to help us with that information and go and make those 22 to 26-year-old signings that are approaching their peak or in their peak. I heard rumors of Federico Chiesa, Jota, the likes of those players that can come in and instantly make an impact in our starting 11. I mean, it's going to get us over the line, because come business day, can't be
oh, your audio's gone, Dono.
We can't be real.
Oh, you're back again. You're back again.
Yep.
Sorry, your audio went near the end.
No, my headphones just died there. No, but in conclusion, this little rant, no, we just we have to see what January takes us, because right now we have a good base. We've built a good base, and now we add to that base, because there's only uphill from here, guys. And you know, we got to trust Levy. We have to trust Levy. He come out and he apologized, and let's hope he meant it, man. Because, like you said, man, we're close to something big here.
Pressure on him in January, do you think? Like, do you think a lot of sort of conversations will be around Levy again? It's like, you know, can he change? You know, can he do something a bit extra right this time? That's what everybody's going to be worried, is like, you know, is he going to just be himself like he always is? Or is he going to be, you know, something slightly different, you know, in case we're still top of the league?
Well, I'm hoping that 3 years of revenue and all these concerts and all these go-karts and freaking hotels that we're building are going to help come through, because, you know, we're one of the most profitable football clubs in the world, not just the Premier League. Like, we're up there with the juggernauts of world European football.
You're right.
So,
Donovan.
I mean, there's got to be some kind of showing for it on the transfer market. And I think us as Spurs fans and as a company and as a club, we've been biding our time. You know, when the press come out and release that we got 400 million of FFP to play with and all this stuff, you know, the pieces are in place. So when he employs those football people to go and make those informed decisions of, hey, this is a player that'll be perfect for your system, it's going to cost you the 50 million. I like to see him push it out now and pay that 50 million or that 60 million now with no excuses, no holding back, because, you know, Ange Postecoglou, man, you give him the players you want. He's shown time and time again he'll get you over the line. So I really hope so. That's all I can say.
Look, I mean, I fully agree with that. I think, you know, look, if Ange Postecoglou and do their squad and the sort of squad do their job up until January, you know, it's rightly so. It's back over to the chairman. And see, this January's a hard one for me. It's more so bring in what we need to the best of our ability, or more so what Ange has picked. Because look, the way it's going to happen is Tottenham do the scouting. You know, they'll say to Ange what positions. Tottenham do the scouting. They'll come back, put a list of 5 together, and say, and Ange will give them 1, 2, 3 sort of preference in order, and they'll sort of try and sign off that. But look, I agree. You know, this squad will need help from January onwards, despite us only playing 1 game a week. You know, we can't be naive. Like, you know, Emerson filled in the other day. Can he do it for the full season at left back without it really coming back to haunt us? So, you know, centre back, if we do get an injury there, will it derail us? If we don't have another striker that can maybe pick up the goals, you know, for a bit like what Son used to do for Kane. If you remember when Kane was out injured, Son would step up front, you know, and bag a few goals to sort of keep it ticking over, so we didn't really miss anyone. And look, I just hope that there's no excuses, because we did only sell Harry Kane for 100 million, you know, just before the start of the season. I know there's, you know, debates around whether we sort of used that money, whether we haven't. I hope we haven't, and I still think even if we've used half of it, there's still 50, 60 million there. And I do want them to bring in reinforcements. I don't want them to pull the reins now, a bit like what they've done under Pochettino when he needed help in certain windows.
If I can add to that, Dave, like, yeah, regardless if we spent that 100 million, regardless if we got 70 million in the transfer budget left, the point is that Ange Postecoglou has historically brought in lesser known players rather than the great quantity. And that kind of lines up right with our transfer motto, you know, go for those hidden gems, go for those players that may cost 20 million, may cost 30 million, who will be the world beaters. And Tottenham have a better what's the word? A better ability and a better tools at their resources at their disposal to go and take that extra jump and spend a bit more than the Celtics, a bit more than the Japanese league, you know? So those players that cost maybe $20 million, they'll get them over the line. And those are only the players that Ange Postecoglou needs. You know, he's proven he doesn't need the 100 million and the 50, 60, 70 million dollar, those marquee signings. Would it be nice to have them? Yes. But I mean, with his track record, just give him the tools he needs, man. That's all we can say, because we're onto something big here, you know. They're running out of excuses. They're running out of tactics. They're resorting to kicking us and trying to break our Achilles tendons, man. Like, that was so frustrating watching. How Jordan Ayew didn't get a card that whole game. That just blew my mind, man. And I think sorry, Jack. I think somebody mentioned before, and maybe it was on your channel or somewhere else, but like, I don't like cheering for own goals because I'm a center back. I know what it feels like. But I was so happy when that ball went in the back of that net, man. Those cheating scum. Like, how dare you, man? Who do you think you are?
Donovan, I'd cheer anything. I'd cheer anything. Anything that hits the back of the net. It doesn't matter whether it comes off a pigeon, whether it comes off a helicopter, whether it comes off, you know, my back end. I really don't mind as long as it goes in. That's all
Shameless
that matters.
you are,
You
yeah.
need to get into the same mindset, my man, especially when you're going for the league. You're not always going to score pretty goals, you know, 30 passes. Sometimes you got to take what's on offer, my man.
Donovan, if you're in that stadium Monday night, what you doing with Pochettino? You booing? You clapping him? What's going on there?
That's the thing, Jack, man. I like to say, like, hey, I'd be that villain. And then I was singing the other day that Mr. Pochettino song. And when he sang he's magic part, I mean, that hits you in the chords, man. It's like, wow, what he did for our club and where he brought us from.
I don't blame you.
But you know, I reckon there's going to be a South End tifo, right? There's going to be a tifo. There's always been a tifo for the big games, like against the top 6. And you know what? I'd love for it to say, imagine Pochettino rolling out in that whole South stand, and you see, I'm loving Big Ange instead. You know, that would send a message, man. You know, and just give him hell. Give him hell. You know, beat him 3-0. Like Gary Neville said, brutalize that team. And then at the end, that's when you cheer. You know, that's when you give a chorus of Mauricio Pochettino, you know, he's magic. Because, you know, you're not friends anymore. You
Yeah.
know, that's the difference between winning and losing and being that elite player and that elite mentality, that 8 out of 10 player. Well, that 9 and 10th percentile, like that's the hardest to get, and that's where you got to make those hard decisions, right?
Well said.
And it's back to us to get back to those ways, because we used to be that way. And after 4 or 5 years of mediocrity, you know, you almost kind of forget how to win. But no, man, we're back to winning ways.
Oh man,
Well
you've
said,
got me
man.
absolutely pumped up, revved up, and raring to go. I love that idea of loving Big Ange instead Teeth on the South Stand. That would absolutely rock them to their core, my man. It'd send them all the way back
Great
to the
image.
Chelsea Flower Show. Absolutely love it, Donovan.
I
Donovan,
don't want
anything-
to go out there and be too negative, but I mean, you know, they just lost against Brentford, man. Let's put that final nail in the coffin. You know what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
can
say?
we get him
Like,
sacked?
hey, all I know is that I had a bet on between Eric Ten Hag and Poch, you know, so one of those two are getting gone. So.
That's a good bet, actually. That's a good bet. Yeah, which one for sure?
Look,
I
Ten
like
Hag's
that.
on the brink. He won't last a season. Pochettino, you know, if we can humble them 3-4-0, play them off the park, I think he could also lose his job. But Donovan, great call in, my man. I mean, absolutely great to see you again, first and foremost. You know, me and you go way back, you know, with chats and stuff like that, all the way back to the We Are Tottenham TV days, coming on the
Pre-match pump
old
ups, let's go,
post-match
baby.
shows and all there, my man. It's an absolute pleasure to see you. How's college going just before we let you go? Good?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Like, I'm busy, man. Like, it's just at the gym too, and you know, my own club and stuff. And I'm playing
Nice.
university soccer now, so it's like I'm busy.
Wow.
But I got to make time for the boys, man, because you know what? I got a Tottenham jersey on the way from Shawnee. Like, things are looking up right now, man. So
Yes.
you know, it's one game at a time now, because that's all we can do. And if Leicester City can do it with a weaker squad, man, Wes Morgan at the back, you know, we had freaking Brighton on the
True.
wing.
Good point.
You know, like, anything can happen, man. And
Anything can happen with when you put it like that. That's very
and
true.
I'll leave it with this, man. Like, regardless of people hating on Tottenham or people bigging us up or whatever, the world will unite against City. We saw it last year with Arsenal, right? They want someone to knock them off their perch, man. And if it takes the mighty Tottenham Hotspur to do it, then you know what? I'm all for it, man. Because
Great.
Daniel Levy will
Love it,
absolutely
Donovan.
love that. That's music to his ears. He's
Love
thinking another
that,
10 million
Donovan.
Spurs fans.
Getting us
Brilliant.
juiced up at the end of the calls as well, towards the very end of the show. Very getting us hyped up as well,
Yeah.
Donovan. Great call, my man. Great call.
Donovan,
Well
please don't leave it so long next time, my man. I mean, look, if it is a case you're in college, we know you've got buses and shit to catch. So just let us know, and you know, there's good people in the back end. We'll adjust you know, for you as best as we can, and try and get you on and stuff like that if need be. All right.
No, man, it's good. And if you're on Mondays now, I'll definitely make a solid effort over here, man. Okay, lots of love from Canada, boys. Come on.
Appreciate you, Donovan.
Big up,
Good man,
big
sir.
up, Donovan. Absolutely great to
Legend.
see you. Great to
Legend.
see you. Oh, phone call, Jack. Get me that pumped up with 10 days to go. I mean,
This
that's not fair.
this guy's well entitled to believe in anything, because I'm still flabbergasted by how he came back in the fantasy league, Dave. I knew I saw his name at almost dead last. And this guy like was as high as 9th or 10th, you know, within a few weeks. So I was like, geez, like, you know, talk about, you know, like putting your mind into something, you know, like that guy must be grinding so hard. So if, you know, this guy can believe in anything. But it was a great call, honestly, towards the end of the show as well, juicing us up. It was great. Big up.
Great call. Absolutely great call. Just Jim, just the guy who loves Spurs, member for 3 months. It's so nice to hear the positivity in here, Tottenham till I die.
Legend.
Yeah, look, I suppose it is nice, you know, but look, that's just the way I see it. I mean, look, I'll be honest, I don't begrudge anyone that sees it differently. You know, there's as many reasons why we can't do it, as many reasons as I feel that we can do it, as many reasons as people say we can't do it. I feel like I can flip to reasons why we can. Look, what I will say, it's good to have these arguments, whether we're winning a league or not, over, you know, will we get relegated or not, or will we, you know, how far are we going to fall, this, that, and the other, and some of the other shit we've had to fucking, whether Dyer's good enough for this club and all this other crap. You know, I'm just glad we're actually at a point where we're talking about winning the league title or not, Jim.
To be honest, Jim, it just sort of reminds me a bit of that time when Spurs were playing really well under Antonio Conte, and there was just this really nasty debate amongst the fan base about, are we going to get top 4 or not? And it was just sort of like, I mean, we might or we might not, but like Spurs are playing really, really good right now, and we're on the right trend once again. Of course, it derailed with Conte, but it seems a bit similar, where it's just sort of kind of like, why are we getting at each other's throats, you know, playing for the same team? talking about Spurs succeeding. Like, it just sort of, seems a bit crazy. It's, I think, if we have relative expectations, that's all right to have, but we're only really talking about Spurs succeeding at the end of the day. So it really should be kind of positive and should be pretty jovial, if you ask me. So I don't know. Kind of reminds me of the top 4 conversations from a long time ago.
True. He also says we need to be upbeat, Dave. We've had enough crap. Look, I completely agree with that. But that's why I choose, to enjoy the period we're going through now, because I'm very well aware, right? Things could tail off, and we've had short-lived sort of, times out of despair, and we've very quickly gone back into it. So that's why now I just choose to enjoy it, because I'll be honest, I can't sit here and hate on the club, or, sit here and not dream or believe, because when we do get into, or if we do go into that bad spell, it just sends me into even more of a spiral. So I just the way I want to support the club. Look, everyone's different. Like I said, I'm just glad these are the topic of debates rather than, other silly shit we had to talk about. Is that really good enough to talk and all that useless stuff? And he says, we are top. Why can't we win the league? We can 100%. Look, what I will say is we put ourselves in a position. I think we can. I think there's something special brewing. I followed Pochettino at Celtic for 2 years. He's a very good manager. He'll let the fans say what they want to say. He'll let the media make all the outside noise they want to make. He controls what he can control inside the building, and he knows how to get players focused on the task and to get over the line. So there's every reason why we can. And plus, we've strengthened our weaknesses, what held us back, in my opinion, last year and other years gone by, Jim. So there's every reason why we can't. Big up, Jim, my man. Really appreciate the support. And also great to see Mr. Faz Radfar in here as well.
Legend.
Really appreciate that, my man. You going to the game against Chelsea? Let us know. And what reaction are you going to give Poch? But look, we will keep this moving. We've got 3. This will be the last 3. And then me and Jack will be ending off. I know some people will probably tail off, heading to bed at work and kids in school and that in the morning. Oh, well, it's actually not. It's Halloween. They're off. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll be Jack will be putting up a scout report on Santiago Jimenez tomorrow. And also I'll follow that up with an under 21 watch along as well, if anyone is interested in that. And then Ben Kaufman, member for 26 months. Wow, fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Salute to you, sir. Evening, boys. 26 months of the Kauf. I don't know whether it's too much or too little, Kauf. I'm not quite sure, Ben. Too much or too little, I'm not quite sure. But honestly, though, good to see that you're doing well. Good to see that you're still streaming and that. And also good to see, that the coffee shop is still open, going strong, my man. So good to see you, Jack. Anything you want to say?
26 months of brewing, 26 months of the Kauf. Appreciate you, sir. Hopefully you're all right in London, or should I say, in Wex, or where is it, Dave? Potter's Bar, is that right? In the area? Where's
nope.
I'm trying to remember where the coffee company is, because it's a beautiful little drag. It really is a beautiful little drag.
I swear, Nick got me there the last day.
Woodford. I know. It's a Woodford Green area. Everybody, do head on over to the coffee shop. It is absolutely lovely little drag, beautiful little neighborhood. I'm even in a cute little neighborhood myself, and I actually like that little drag even more, to be honest. It's a nice little spot. Big up to you, Ben. 26 months of the brew. Appreciate you, sir.
Ben, let us know in the comments, are we winning the league or not? Where do you sit on it, my man? Where do you sit on it? And really appreciate that, Jim. Look, that's just my opinion. Like I said, I can understand why people maybe think we wouldn't as well. But look, let's keep it moving, Jack. Where are we off to next? I believe it's Tron, Iceman, and then Ty, is it?
Yeah, Tron, Iceman, and then Tyler.
Let's get on the Tron. Let's hear what he has to say. Big up, Tron. How are you keeping, sir?
Not too bad. I don't know who's mood deluded, Dave, me or you.
I'm you.
No, it's definitely you. It's definitely... Look, me and Dave live in this little place called Deluded Land, right? We've got 2 houses next door to each other. And we've got a few people jumping in and out. But me and Dave... Look, I've said it all the way along, we're going to win the league. I've been called deluded. I've been ridiculed. I've been told to shut up. I've been told I'm talking out of my backside. But the attitude I've always had is, our motto is to dare is to do. That's Tottenham's motto. Why can we not dream? Why can we not to dare is to do? Dare to dream. We should do, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. This is what makes football the sport it is. It's a sport of opinions. I could have an opinion on, say, Harry Kane. You, me, Dave, had different depends on Harry Kane. But we're not going to fall out over it. We
No.
have a hated discussion. You hit me over the head with a hammer, says, Dermot, you're talking shite. Shut up. I shut up. Dave's right, and we move on. And then Jack does the same. You know, the two of them were two little hammers. I feel like that. Do you remember that thing we used to play back in the day?
Whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole, yeah.
Yeah. There's Dave and Jack. Shut up, Dermot. I'm right.
Whack-a-tron.
Rackatron, I'm right. You're wrong. Shut up. So I'd say fair enough. But no, all seeing this aside, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But why can we not believe? We've had so much crap, so much in a dark tunnel where we didn't believe. And a few of us did believe. And we still have to believe. It's what makes us support Tottenham fans.
Yep.
We should all believe. And why can't we? If Leicester can do it, so can we. And we're bigger than Leicester.
Spurs also themselves, Dermot, have always found themselves, at least in my sort of lifetime, always sort of in and around sort of the challenging places. And so it's kind of really up to us to always believe. We're never really given as favorites. We're never really seen as, clear sort of contenders or as like the obvious choices usually for anything. We're usually kind of more on the outside, usually more as, in good, and even in most good situations, we're usually seen as dark horses. And that's where I feel like you kind of, as a Spurs fan within you, kind of have to believe, because it's not like we're guaranteed, like the Man Cities and the Chelseas and sort of the Man Uniteds, where you're just thrown into the conversation just because you're one of those teams, right? Whereas Spurs, they kind of have to always earn their way into the conversation a bit more. Because I said they're a little bit more on the outside of things where, like maybe a bit challenging, but never like the guaranteed conventional name that would go into those sort of conversations for trophies or titles. And that's what's nice is that I feel like as a Spurs fan, if you feel like it's your year, you have to really believe it's your year because that's what sort of comes with it.
I believe every year's our year. And I don't get disappointed. I just move on to
I do like that
season.
about being Spurs too. Is that no matter how bad a season we can have, we'll still believe.
Even under the Garden Gnome, I still believed we could do something. I believed he was going down to a warehouse somewhere and sit on a shelf, and I was right. So I was pleased with that. But look, guys, where do you want to go? I don't mind.
Just off that, I just want to say one thing, Darmo, just quickly. I mean, look, for me, I think. All the arguments, and the debates and everything else that everyone's had, it was because everyone wanted to get us to this point.
Yeah.
Now that we're here, I think, we're finding a lot of reasons why we can't achieve it. Whereas I think, I think we should believe, but also I do believe we shouldn't get too carried away. We should believe, but we should also, highlight exactly what we need, to get us over the threshold. For instance, what we need in January, what we need in that front three to finally make it click, etc. We should believe, but we shouldn't be naive, is what I'm saying. We should still demand and sort of talk about what we need to get over the line on that.
I agree on that. And we're in the Champions League place. We're guaranteed probably Champions League football because I think we're good enough to get Champions League football.
Yeah, for sure.
Whatever comes after that is a bonus. It was always next season that we were going to challenge for stuff. Look, we could end up winning the FA Cup this year. I mean, I've gone on to say for the crack, we're going to do the double. But if you match the start we've had this season, it's the second best start we've had to a season since 60-61.
Yeah.
And what did we do that season? We won the double. I know a different era, different footballers, different manager. But there's something about Ange that reminds me of that push and run side of the 50s. And I'll back that up. We had Norman Giller on tonight. Me and Philip interviewed him. And he told us there was Puskás was a manager in South Melbourne. Now, he couldn't speak English, but he could speak Greek. Ange was there. Ange was his translator, who was his captain. Puskás trained and Ange had to play football. Arthur Rowe taught Puskás how to play the push and run side. So it's now come full circle that we're now back to what we had back in the 50s. And you're right, Dave. Something is brewing. We're building something special. And it feels special. It feels different. It feels exciting. It feels like it feels like something's going to happen and you just want it now. And we deserve it. We damn well deserve this.
look, whether we get over the line is a different story or not. But we're
exactly.
definitely on the right path. You know,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
definitely close, is what I will say. But look, Dermot, Faz Radfar, 3-1 Spurs, my man, you still haven't answered me. You going to the Chelsea game or not? And let me know, you know, what reception you're going to give the Pochettino. But Jack, Dermo, he says Paratici and Ange, the best things that happened to Spurs for years.
Absolutely spot on. Could not disagree with that comment one iota. Postecoglou and Paratici are the best things that happen. And look, I had my dithery moment when he was caught with the Juventus stuff, and I'll admit it. I said he had to go, and I will admit that I'll hold my hands up. I was wrong, and I will hold my hands up. But look, Paratici is the Don. He's always been the Don, and him and Ange and the Aston Villa fella that's come in. Them three are going to be the
Ange and Lange.
Yeah, Ange and Lange. They're the new three wise men at Tottenham. They're going to ones that are going to take us to glory. And I think, yeah, they're the best thing to happen to Tottenham in years. And you got to give Levy credit for that, for putting that all together. I mean, you look at Manchester United like a debacle. They're in where we were a couple of seasons ago. If you could use that as an example.
Yeah, for sure they are, 100%.
And you look at Tottenham now, everyone, look, if Levy does bad, we criticise him, rightly so. If he does good, I think he should deserve praise as well. He's laid the foundations of what we can build off. And we're now building off them foundations. We have a world-class stadium, a world-class training facilities, a world-class manager. We've got the Paratici in there as a consultant. We've got now the Aston Villa fella in as a director of football. We've got the other fella in. The football side is falling into place, and it's like a jigsaw, and that jigsaw's fitting together like a glove. Let's be excited because we are going places.
Well, look, I'll hold off on giving praise just yet because for me, I think, you know, we're back to where we were under Pochettino.
Yeah.
Now it's the proof will be in the pudding come January. Will it be different this time around? And you will maybe, you know, look to go into the market with a bit of gusto and really try and help the manager get over the line? Or will we see more Kevin and Kudus, Clinton and G's and people like that, which didn't help Pochettino? They weren't even close to what we had. They weren't even close to Dyer and Davies, which is embarrassing, to be quite honest. So I think, look, the proof will be in the pudding come January on that. Will he hold back? Will he not?
So far, so good. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
so far, so good. And I think this is better than the Poch era so far. The start we've had and the better, I think this is a better start and this is a better brand of football than Poch. So, look, long it may continue, and I'm just really over the moon with it. Excited to be a Spurs fan.
Same here, lad.
As you should be, John.
Where can people find you, brother? We'll let you get off and put on some dinner.
Yeah, very quickly, just on the Poch thing, and then I plug the channel. I hope we absolutely 100% give Pochettino an utter rollicking. I hope we boo him. We hope we call him he's a traitor. For me, Poch is dead. He's not a Spurs hero. He's a loser. That's it. He's a loser to me. That's it. He didn't win us anything.
That's harsh, lad.
He didn't get us over the line. He played pretty football. He went to a farmers league and couldn't even win there in his first season. Took him another season to get that. So now he's at Chelsea where they play Monopoly. I mean, Brentford were brilliant in the second half, by the way. Chelsea have only won 3 home games since last March. So that says a lot about them lot down there. They're all playing Monopoly with one another. So Poch is going to come there. He's going to look at the stadium. He's going to look at Levy, look at Ange, look at the South Stand singing We Love Big Ange instead. And he's going to go, I think I made a bit of a cock-up here. And then we're going to beat Chelsea. He's going to get the sack and he's going to go home and cry into his bed all night with a picture of Tottenham beside his bed thinking, why didn't I? But Poch, we don't need you. We have Ange. Thank you for what you've done. You're like an ex-girlfriend we do not want to go back to. So see you later. Ange, we love you. And if you'd like more of what I got to say, I've been a total lunatic and the white men and the goats bringing me away. You can find me and Mr. Brady over the THFC till I die, the home of Tottenham past, present, and the exciting future. And tomorrow, guys, we have a banger of the Cockerel Clock podcast. We have a very special guest, the one and only Mr. Norman Giller, who has supported Tottenham for 70 years. He wrote a book recently. He's wrote of many books for Tottenham, but he wrote a book about the G-Men, which is Alan Gilzine and Jimmy Greaves. And I tell you one thing, guys, this man is unbelievable. I'm not usually starstruck or lost for words. This man lost for words. This man, I just could not speak properly. His knowledge on Spurs and the stories he's told and the people he knows. I mean, this man has met everything from Muhammad Ali to Murray Walker to Bobby Charlton to Tottenham legends up and down the road. So that's on tomorrow at 4. Please, everyone, get over and watch it. It is an absolute an hour and a half of joy. I love doing it. I'm buzzing now, even after doing it. And that we finished at 7:30, and I'm buzzing. It was absolutely unreal, absolute gentleman. And please go out and buy his book called The G-Men. It's an absolute brilliant. But yeah, if you like what you hear, what I've had to say, if I haven't been taken away by the madmen, yeah, you can find me over at THFC till I die. And Dave and Jack are looking at me thinking, he has lost the plot. He's gone.
No, I'm looking at you, just saying. You know, I'll definitely be tuning into that podcast tomorrow.
Yeah. As I've been carted off with the men in white coats, but there you go.
I definitely want to have a listen to hear, you know, what he has to say. Definitely interested in that for sure. People do get over, check out Dermot's channel, smash that subscribe button, and you know, great personalities over there with himself and Philip. Dermot, thank you for your time this evening, sir. And we'll speak to you again very, very soon, my man.
Yeah,
nice one, Tron.
Everyone, please get over and like and subscribe. These guys are legends, Spurs legends in their own right. And look, you cannot meet two nicer fellas. So see you later. Goodbye.
Have a good night, brother.
See you soon,
get off the channel. Go off, man. Go on, get off.
See you soon, Dermot.
Yeah, see you later. Bye.
Great calling. He absolutely loves it. He absolutely loves it. He's dying to win that league. Absolutely brilliant. Big up, Dermo. Brilliant. You know, he does make me giggle as well. He delivers it with a bit of humor. I absolutely love it. But look,
time for a late debut though, and we're gonna go straight into it. Let's go over to Iceman. And we haven't ever spoken to the Mr. Iceman, and he's a big fan of the channel. He's been really supportive of us as well. So everybody in the chat, you can welcome him in, and you know, anything, you know, just, you know, big up the Iceman. Let's bring him in here.
Let's bring him in. Let's hear what he has to say. Iceman, how are you keeping, sir?
Keeping very good.
Great to have you on, my man. Finally, great to have you on. Look, first of all, I believe you put in the comments earlier on saying something happened to your son last week. Is he all right?
Yeah, he's on crutches. Some fella came over the top of the ball, stamped on his foot. Suspected broken foot.
Ooh.
Sorry, man.
Not good. It's not good. Well, look, man, please pass on my best wishes to you know, to the young lad, and hopefully a speedy recovery soon. But look, guys, man, let's get into it. I mean, first of all, what do you make of the Palace game? You know, some saying, you know, look, got the job done. Some saying, you know, I wasn't too impressed.
No, in one sense, yes. In one sense, no. First half was shit.
Why?
Huh?
What went wrong for us in the first half?
There was no pressing.
Yeah.
Passing was shit.
Yeah.
Second half, it all changed around.
Was that to do with the substitution at halftime, Emerson for Ben Davies?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Ben Davies was absolute shit. Absolute shit. And this is why we need to get rid of fucking Ben Davies.
Yeah. Did you see it coming, or did he play worse than you even expected?
No, Ben Davies is not good enough for Tottenham.
Yeah. And he showed that.
It's not good enough for
Friday night.
I think under previous managers, I can understand why people maybe say keep him around. A Conte ball or, you know, Jose sort of football would probably, you know, well, I didn't think it suits him, but many would say it did. But I genuinely think Ange ball is too quick for him. You know, he doesn't have the legs to get up and back as quickly as required. And plus, I think he's lacking technically as well.
Yeah. He has no ability. He's okay with wild football, where it's when we're playing, you know, whatever teams they're playing in their league.
Mm.
But when we're playing Premier League football, compared to Idoji, he has no, Idoji's 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a 19-year-old child
How good
against
is
Ben Davis.
How good has Idoji been? What's made him so good at Tottenham?
It's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
Yeah.
Ben Davis is 30 years old against Idoji, who's 19.
Yeah.
And all Spurs fans are going, Idoji number one.
Mm. Yeah.
Is he going to be one of the best fullbacks in the Premier League, do you think, Udoji? Or if not already is?
As a Spurs fan, right now he is.
Mm.
But we'll see in the future.
Mm.
One of Paratici's recruitments, though, right? I mean, Faz Radfar said earlier that Paratici was one of the best things to ever happen to Spurs. Do you agree?
To a certain extent, yes. But we'll see in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, what I will say is the recruitment is sort of showing, but look, we'll hopefully it continues this season, and then hopefully we'll get he's the Adonis cooking out of you, Iceman. Oh, am I frozen?
No, you're fine. You're fine. Iceman, can you still hear us?
Yeah.
Sorry. Do you have any ill feelings towards Pochettino? What do you think? Monday night, Chelsea. How are you feeling towards him?
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I wish all Spurs fans praise Pochettino. Give him the celebrations what he deserves.
Should we maybe wait till after the game is done, though? But for the 90 minutes, put that aside and sort of, make it as hostile and intimidating as we can. You okay with that?
Can you do both?
You can't do both, Dave.
Why? Why can't we just stand there and applaud him after if we want to?
Dave wants the best of both worlds. He wants a ceremony for Poch after we beat him 4-0.
Yeah.
That's what he wants.
You've got to give Poch the big applause when he comes in. Being what he's done for us.
Yeah.
The manager has done the best for us for the last 10 years. And when we beat him, you go, there you go. Shouldn't have left us.
Do you think we could get him sacked?
Oh, I've seen. Oh, not Chelsea. Sorry, I'm thinking about Man United. Maybe we can't get him sacked. But if you look in his next 5 games, he could be sacked.
Yeah, I feel like we could be the one that really start the conversation more seriously. Yeah, like we could really make the conversation serious about whether he's good enough. We give him a big defeat, then he takes another one, let's say 1 or 2 games afterwards, then I think he ends up getting it. So I think we could be the catalyst for it.
Just
have you seen
sorry, go
their
on.
next 5 fixtures?
Who have they got?
It's us, it's Man United, it's City.
That's going to be El Sacchio, probably between him and Hogg, I think.
What I will say, though, is, it'd be interesting to see what United do, because personally, I wouldn't pull the trigger until Pochettino gets sacked, because if I'm Chelsea, I know United will want Pochettino as soon as he's sacked, and he could very well go in there and sort that ship out. So it'll be interesting to see what Chelsea and United do, who wants to pull the plug first on that. Very, very interesting. But look, Den Hag's, he's a dead man walking. He's done. I mean, there's no style of play whatsoever. There's absolutely nothing there. But Iceman, Sonny, Golden Boot. Is he on for it? Do you think he can do it? Can we get a Golden Boot winner this season?
It all depends how Maddie is playing. It all depends when Bendicott comes back at full fitness. But it's potential. Potential massively.
For sure.
Yeah, 100%. 100% there's potential, lad. Look, obviously you've got the Asian Games and stuff like that. But if you can stay injury free, I don't see why you can't. I think we, like Haaland, that City there, City don't really create a lot of chances for Haaland. But the ones that do create, the fucker just seems to put away. But with Tottenham, we do create a lot of chances. So I think there's every sort of chance for Sonny. I have no doubt Sonny's dad is telling Sonny that as well and making sure he eyes it up. But Iceman, pleasure to have you on, my man.
Any advice for Dave on the fantasy before we let you go, Iceman?
Oh yeah,
I know you're pretty high up there in the fantasy league, if that's right.
No,
you don't want to share.
I won't swear. Jack, you had a phenomenal week last week.
I know. I know.
Your
captain worked out.
I need some tips off you, though, Iceman. I tried changing it up this week, and I still lost places. Work that one out, lad.
What we do, Jack and Dave, let's get on a phone call. We'll speak to each other.
Nice.
And we go from there.
Right,
Is that okay?
Give us some advice.
Iceman, not only are you in charge of Dave for Chirpy, but you're also in charge of #Dave Reborn, which is me heading up the
fantasy project.
You've got very important jobs to carry out, my man. You're in charge of my campaigns.
Right. Jack and Dave, I love your channel. Your channel is absolutely the best. But Jack, I want you on a video call with me and Dave next week so we can sort out the fantasy team.
Will do, sir. Let's do that.
We'll make sure it happens, Iceman. Iceman, absolute pleasure having you on, buddy. Really, really enjoyed you coming on. Hopefully it's not the last time we see you on here, and we'll definitely get on that call because I need help. So we'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Well done, sir. Great call, by the way. Great debut.
Yeah.
I love your channel.
Appreciate you, man.
I really appreciate that, my man. I really do. I really do. And look, we love all you guys who are out here supporting us and believing us. It's absolutely amazing, my man. And look, also, like I said, make sure you pass on that message to the son, all right? To keep his head up, get back stronger than ever before, all right?
Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate it.
No worries at all, my man. We'll speak again very, very soon, nice man.
Have a good rest of your evening.
See you, lad. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Great call by Iceman. Great call. Really nice gentleman, actually. A really, really nice gentleman. Spoke to him on the phone there for the first time last week, because he was he texted me. He's like, Dave, how do I get onto these fan shows? It's not working. And we got it all sorted out. Actually, through the power of, the Harris Army helping, giving advice and stuff, how we got it. He got on. And, he's an absolute gentleman. He's great. Big up,
I like his voice, and he has a great laugh. He has a great laugh. He's very, powerful laugh. Iceman. It's very, very nice. And he's got a nice voice. So big up to my man. And I'm looking forward to the advice, that you'll be giving us in the fantasy. But we're going to end off with a regular Tyler. You already know him. Please, everybody. But do welcome him in. He's going to be the closer for tonight, the Big T. And we'll leave it there. And also, please, everybody, if you haven't, smash the like button. And this is going to be the last guest of the evening. What's up, Tyler?
How you guys doing? Doing good.
Yeah, good. Where do you want to take this, my man? We've talked about so much Tottenham today. Where do you want to take this?
First start with Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
That first half, Ben Davies. I've had faith in Ben Davies throughout the years, right? I think he's been a pretty solid defender overall. I don't think he's, technically good enough for Andrew's system, obviously. And I think his pace is just going down each and every year. And I mean, he showed no aggression. He showed zero ability. He was literally just watching Van de Ven run past him and tackle his man for him every single time. I mean, I was really disappointed in Ben Davies.
Yeah.
I thought he'd take his chance and have a decent game, at least be solid at the back.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't have it anymore. And it just shows more and more how we absolutely have to get, left back depth or bring in a center back and have Van de Ven play out left.
I think that's a good option.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I asked that question earlier, Tyler, right? Where I was sort of saying, like, as much as maybe Ben Davies isn't, maybe going to be brilliant by any means, did he sort of perform below even most people's expectations? And I think he did, actually. I think people definitely thought he was going to be at least better than that, to be honest. And I think that's where the worry is that he didn't really do much. He didn't, like I said, he could have done one or the other. And I think people would have been pretty all right with his performance. He could have defended solidly and we would have been thinking, you know what, he's at least reliable defensively, or he might have contributed, something going forward. And then we would have realized, you know what, maybe he is good in possession, going forward in these sort of situations, but he really didn't do either.
Yeah, I think he's proved that he can't be trusted this season. I know it's only one performance, but I mean, he showed nothing. He didn't show any fight whatsoever. I don't think he can get back onto that field.
Look,
what about Richie?
Yeah.
Sorry,
What?
Dave. I was going to say, what about Richie? Another man down the left-hand side. That was also maybe disappointing in some people's eyes.
Yeah. Well, the thing I can always give credit for Richie. He gives it his all. He runs around. Sometimes he makes a stupid foul, but overall his pressing and stuff is really good. So I'm always going to give him that. But again, with Richie, his technical ability is just so poor. A couple of those passes he made were very good. I was very impressed with. And then the next play, he'd make an absolutely terrible touch, lose the ball. He'd try to dummy it or something, the ball just go out of bounds. I just don't know with Richie. Obviously, I think we definitely have much better winger depth. Guys like Heung Min Son, I think, can come on the left and put in a better performance, and he'll give that same energy. Obviously, Brennan Johnson came in with a really good assist. Was impressed with him. I think he's a little bit better on the right, in my opinion. But he can definitely put in a better performance than Richarlison, in my opinion, on the left.
I was only saying to Jack, I think the other day, that, with Richarlison, he does things you think he can't do, and the things you think he should do, he doesn't do. It's, he's really, really frustrating. Really frustrating. And look,
you were going to say something on Davies, though, Dave, or you were going to say something on Davies, and I interrupted you earlier, or unless you want to.
Oh, on Davies, I was just, it'll come back to me. It'll come back to me.
Move on.
I've got so many things that go around in my brain per second. You don't want to know. It'll come back to me.
This hasn't been touched on tonight, Tyler, and we don't need to spend a whole lot of time on it. But referees actually haven't been mentioned really, and I think that's because we're just so good at being positive and keeping it light. But referees, I thought that ref was one of the worst we'd seen in a while because he wasn't protecting our players, and that's what a lot of people were worried about. Is like this could be a trend that people start hacking down our guys. Could end up injuring one of our players, and it's because the referee isn't doing much about it.
Yeah, I mean, was it Van de Ven got stomped on, and then about 2 minutes later, someone else got stomped on pretty viciously? I forgot. I think it was Madison, right?
Yeah, we may as well change his name to Pinata on the back.
Yeah, so, I mean, one of those had to have been a yellow at least. They both probably should have been. I don't remember if they were both on Ayu or I think the second one was on someone else. But, no, I mean, our players weren't protected at all. They were doing whatever they wanted to them. Obviously, he was still calling the foul at least. I'll give him that. He was giving us foul calls, both ways. But, I mean, some of those have to be yellows.
Like the thing is, I can accept the fouls, right? Yeah, fair enough. Credit for doing your job. Well, actually, I don't think I should praise him for doing his job. I think you should get praised if you do exceptionally well. But the problem is by not booking them, Tyler, is that has a knock-on effect. It means they can continue to get away with it for longer. Whereas if they get a booking, right, it means we can target that side, and he can't bring us down. And it pisses me off because the referees are allowing Fulham and Palace to stay in these games.
I disagree with you that he's doing his job because you mentioned in the watch along that he said you said accumulation, right? And that's an
Yeah.
actual rule
Yeah.
and an actual policy by the referees. And that if you see a guy continuously bringing down players, maybe he's not doing it in a nasty way or anything like that that's really hurting the players or really endangering them. But if he's stopping moves and if he's hurting, teams' chances of scoring on a consistent level where he isn't winning the ball cleanly, he's just taking down the man, you have to give him a yellow card because that's preventing the other team from scoring. And he's not really doing much to really try to actually make a clean tackle. He's just bringing down the man so that he can bring down the man. And that should be punished eventually with a yellow card, not straight away, but eventually that will get punished with a yellow card. And that's what wasn't happening. His first yellow card came in, somebody said like the 100th minute or whatever ridiculous thing, what it was or something like that. He
and
didn't
his
even
card
touch the
stats
card
are
all
low
game.
this season. And his card stats supposed to be a very low this season. It just drives me mad. It just drives me mad. I just can't stand these referees. I put me out there. I'll do a better job. Sick of it.
But we also, Tyler, have been sort of talking, about, I guess, Pochettino and how you would maybe receive him if you were a man in that stadium. How would you receive Pochettino? Would you be indifferent? Be maybe a bit more hateful, a bit more sort of respectful? Where would you lie?
Yeah, I mean, we're going into it playing one of our biggest rivals, Chelsea. I don't care if he was our manager before. I don't care if he was our player before and won us trophies, which he didn't win us trophies. So I couldn't give a shit. Of course, I would be in there booing him as loud as I possibly can. I want him to feel our energy, feel our hatred.
Yes,
I
Tyler.
want him to be absolutely scared to face this Tottenham team, to face Ange Postecoglou, because we're going to absolutely put it on Chelsea. We're going to destroy them. I cannot wait. I can't wait to see Poch, with his head in his hands. What was I thinking? Why am I with Chelsea right now? Like, just absolutely. Oh, I can't wait. I hope we absolutely destroy them.
Could we be the catalyst for his sacking?
I don't know. I think it's maybe a little too early. I hope that would be awesome. A nice little 5-0 win, something like that, and he gets sacked like immediately after the game. But no, I don't wish people to lose their jobs at the same time. I know at the end of the day it is business, and he's trying to put on for his family. I think he obviously probably had other abilities to go to other clubs, but Chelsea is a big club at the end of the day. So overall, do I hate Pochettino overall? I mean, I feel a little bit betrayed that he did go to Chelsea, but Levy had every opportunity to bring him back in, I think, this summer, which I'm glad he didn't. I mean, Postecoglou is incredible, but I'm not too upset, like, overall. But going into a Chelsea game, London rivals, one of our biggest rivals, of course I'd be booing him.
Yeah, for sure. I look, if people want to stand and give him a round of applause after, by all means, be my guest.
Yeah.
Do not show that sign of weakness before the game. Please don't, because it is a sign of weakness, And, I just don't want us to show it before the game. Just do what you need to after. Don't do it before, because Chelsea laugh at us. They're like, look at these mugs. You're too sentimental, applauding our manager. They're making it a nice place for us to come to. I don't want that. I don't want that. A lot of them, they're young kids. Let's scare the living crap out of them. It is Halloween after all. It's the season for it, is what I would say. But where are we next? Tyler, Sonny, Golden Boot. Gonna happen? Not gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, Son's been absolutely incredible. I mean, his finishing, it doesn't matter whether it's with his right or left foot. We know Sonny's ability to finish, whether it's outside the box, inside the box. I know he's not like the greatest poacher, but on the ground, sometimes he can really get a nice flick on the ball and put it in the corner. But I think aerially, obviously, he struggles a little bit. And right now, we don't have anybody putting in good crosses. So we are creating a lot of chances for him, and he is going to continue to finish. But will he get the same amount of balls that Holland is getting? I don't know. I mean, he's just a tank in the box. His movement, his finishing is great.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's pretty much most of his game. And without De Bruyne whipping in those balls at the same time, maybe he won't have as many opportunities. So Son definitely has a chance. I assume we'll bring in a striker in January, though. That'll maybe take away some of the goals, which I think is fine. We need to spread the goals out a little bit more. It shouldn't be all on Sonny. Right now, it feels kind of like that. but
Yeah.
I think Son definitely does
He's-
have a chance.
I think Sonny is sort of like, I know him and Mo Salah have been kind of compared in the past, but I actually think they're sort of similar in that they're not like
Yeah.
freak athletes in any way, like sort of
Mm.
like the Mbappes and the Hollands and the Ronaldos and stuff like that of the world are, where they are just sort of like so freakishly fast that it's unfair, or so strong that it's unfair, or so all of the above that it's sort of unfair. That yeah, they are fast, yeah, they are like quick and everything like that, but they kind of just make up for maybe not being as freakish as the other players by being just as efficient and being just as sort of ruthless, with the chances that are presented to them. And I would say Salah's in that category. He's so ruthless when in front of goal.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with Sonny, and they're both kind of normal looking kind of footballers, normal builds, normal kind of, limitations like a lot of footballers have. And they just bury the chances that are the chances that they can bury, right? And that's where it's pretty impressive, I think, in my opinion. They're kind of similar in that regard.
Yeah, and it's the fact that Sonny can do it with both feet too. He can strike it,
Yeah.
at the same level. Like it's incredible, his finishing ability and how he can strike the ball. And I think Madison's got a lot of that too. It's just a little bit more consistent. But you've seen some of those long range strikes with his left. I mean, he's almost scored 2 of those with his left, curling it into the top corner. I forgot who was it. Raya who made an incredible save on one of his curling shots. I forgot. I don't remember if it was the Arsenal game, but one of them was an absolutely incredible save. It should have been a goal.
So Liverpool, Alisson. That's what it was. Alisson, unbelievable save. Unbelievable save. No, it was absolutely. But look, Tyler, anything else you want to touch on or that before we let you go, my brother?
Yeah,
Any help for me?
I just want to say one more thing about going into the last 2 games we've played, right? Before I've said it in the group chat, under other managers and with other players before, that Fulham game, that Crystal Palace game, going into it, like we probably wouldn't have been able to get the result and be able to hold that top spot. I mean, Ange is putting in incredible work, gotten our players with great mentalities going on right now. It's just incredible. I think these guys they deserve all credit. Our players, the manager right now, and you even got to give Levy a little bit of credit for getting it right. I think for once, and let's just hope it continues to improve. And yeah, I'm just really excited right now. I haven't been this happy being a Tottenham fan in a while, especially in league form. Obviously, we've had those Champions League moments, the Man City and the Ajax game. That run was incredible, right? But I'm just so happy watching the team play right now. I have so much faith in them to get a result, no matter who we're playing. It's just awesome right now.
Do you know what? It's great to see you happy with it as well, because even going through the things with content and everything else, you always sort of kept a very level head, didn't get carried away either side with it, and it's good to see you getting your rewards in that regard. And I think you're spot on. When it does come to Palace and Villa, or Palace and Fulham, they are games where we would have struggled in the past, and we have struggled in the past. And I agree with you. I don't think we would have got over the line if we still had some of that same back line, same goalkeeper. Stuff like that. I think you're absolutely spot on. And again, it's another reason why you're giving me that we can win the league, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, and then when it comes to fantasy football, I had an absolutely terrible week. I don't know what I was thinking. I knew Arsenal was going to score a lot of goals, and I had the points. I needed to make one sub. I wasn't going to keep Rashford anymore. Obviously, one, he wasn't going to do anything against City, and 2, he's been terrible. So it was either with the amount of points, it was either Rashford, Fernandez, or Saka or Odegaard. I was like, Arsenal's going to score goals against Sheffield, sadly. So I knew they'd score a lot. Somehow Saka doesn't get on the score sheet at all, and I captained him, being an absolute moron. So I absolutely deserve captaining an Arsenal player to have a shit week and drop down the table. I 100% deserve it.
Yeah. Dave would be mad with you for that one. He's not going to
I deserve
be doing that. But
I can understand why other people with other fancy leagues, why they do it. Me personally, I feel like I should get at least 500 points added on at the end of the season if I don't use an Arsenal player, because I am sort of
I haven't used one.
myself.
I haven't used one, Dave. I haven't used one, or a Chelsea player, or a West Ham player. I haven't used all 3 intentionally. So
Good going. That's impressive, actually. Maybe I should listen to you more often. So,
no, I think I'll sabotage you again.
Yeah, secretly sad. That's what you done the other day. Secretly sabotaged me without me knowing. But Tyler, big yourself up, my man. Absolutely great call as always, and never too late, my man. Keep coming in, keep coming on whenever you want to come on. Let's keep having these great chats going.
Just message us if you ever want to come on, my man. Big up to you, brother.
Yeah, one last thing real quick. Me and Jack were tied on points going into the last week. I think Jack's like 30 or 40 points ahead of me now. So
that was a pretty crazy week.
I don't know how
definitely
to
got
catch
it spot
up,
on. I definitely got it spot on. Feels good.
Yeah.
Feels
Stat
good.
Man Dave, I think Jack's just spending his Friday mornings listening to Stat Man
me
Dave.
and the Stat Man go way back. All right.
Love it. Love
Have
it.
a good
Tyler,
one, guys.
happy Halloween, my man. Have a great day, all right?
Thanks a lot, guys. You guys all have a great one.
We will. See you soon, my man.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. Oh, great fan show today. Really enjoyed it. Loads of guests, which is great to see. You know, and I know for a fact there's more we didn't even get to. So I do apologize about that. But honestly, a massive thank you to
got through a lot of them. And,
everyone who wants to come on and everyone who tunes in, Jack, all right?
So many that came on tonight. Really do appreciate that. We tried to be as efficient as possible, but I think Dave especially did a very good job at also engaging with a lot of people who listen along in the live chat. A lot of people really were, following along in the live chat as well. And we do appreciate you guys for that. So many that came on and had their say. We went on for nearly 4 hours here. So if you haven't already, please smash the like button. But we really do appreciate you all for tuning in as you have. Also really appreciate Ellie for supporting the channel in extra way. Al Ben earlier as well, putting in some great comments. Kay earlier as well. We do appreciate you. Ash Pad Mirage, appreciate you listening while you're at work as well and join the fan show membership. Jack Williams, Kev Williams, the Williams Army, Jim Spurs till you die, Ben Kaufman, Fazzy Radfar. We do appreciate you all for supporting the channel in extra way. And again, a lot of the fan show members that came on tonight. It's a good feeling to have so many people just sort of in the queue. And even though it's kind of annoying to some of you guys to see that the queue is full, at least for Dave and I, it's a nice feeling because it feels like a lot of you guys want to come on and have your say. So that's a good thing.
And look, this is what we provide the platform for. So please make sure you do use it. This is what it's for. But look, one last thing as well. James from Spurs related, I believe they're interviewing Sandro tomorrow at some point. So I'll definitely be checking out. Hopefully see a few of you guys in the chats as well, throwing in your questions for that. But Jack will be out with a scout report tomorrow on Santiago Jimenez. So if you want to know all about him, whether he's a good signing for Tottenham or not, definitely have a look at that. And feel free, to share them on social media if you do enjoy the streams and stuff like that as well. And Tim Kirby, really appreciate it, my man. Look. You're the legends. We're just normal people. You guys are all the legends. You guys that make this happen, make our dream happen. You guys are the legends. James, just put in there what time that show is at tomorrow, my man. But I want to give you a question for Sandro specifically. I'll have to think of one. But look, that is Tim Kirby, absolutely legend. Where is he from again? I'm trying to remember. Some market town. What's that market town called?
Oh yeah,
it's awesome. It's awesome. I need to go there. I need Tim Kirby. Really I need to go there for Christmas. Let me know where you live.
Really nice.
Staffordshire? Maybe I'm wrong, but let me know where you live. Is it nice in and around Christmas? It looks like it's going to be absolutely quality around Christmas. But also happy Halloween to you too, Tim. But look, I suppose we'll see you all back here tomorrow. I'm off to have a bowl of Irish stew, and Jack's off to enjoy the rest of what's left of his evening. He's still got some daylight left. So guys. See you all soon. Come on, you Spurs. In the mighty Ange Postecoglou, a.k.a. Postecoglou, a.k.a. the man from down under, we trust.
See you, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you once again for keeping us company. Have a good one.
Come on, you Spurs.
Everywhere we go.